Hey Herb, how you doing?
Hello, how's everybody?
Chris Rocco, is that you on 0081?
That's me.
Okay, thanks.
Last meeting.
Oh, I guess it is.
It might not be.
Hey,
No, we might have to have a special meeting next week, so that's why I said that.
okay. Well, I'll be around.
Okay, good.
Just Friday the 29th.
Okay.
Leave this in the oven for
Catherine, we have a fair number of people logging on, so let's wait a minute to see how many we get and then we'll identify them.
Okay. I'm assuming we got a lot of Girl Scouts tonight.
I think so. I mean, we're up to 25 people right now.
Wow. Well, do I see them all? 1, 2.
It could be on multiple
5.
screens. Sometimes you got to flip screens if there's more than one.
Well, I see 20. I see 25. I do see that.
Linda Fobb, are you on your phone as well?
I am.
Okay, thanks. We have someone on a 775-3602 number. Could you give us your name?
Teresa and Paul Mickey.
What's it? Teresa?
No, Therese. T-E-R-E-S-E.
Okay, your last name?
Nikki.
N-I-C-K-Y?
K-N-I-C-K-Y.
E-K-Y. I'm sorry, could you spell your last name one more time?
Yeah. K-N-I-C-K-Y.
Yes?
It's Nikki with a K.
All right, I think I got it. Thank you.
Chris, Linda.
All right, so Chris, all right.
Looks like we've got some kitty cats. I'm gonna have to bring Iris in and get her picture in here.
I don't see, oh, there you are, Jen. Okay, I see that. Okay. So, Catherine, looks like we have all 5 directors. We have 25 people total. Most of them at least have their first name on their screen. So I guess you could go through and see which ones make comments, presentations, so forth.
Okay, so Stacy.
Yes.
So actually, I know that we've got people on from the Girl Scouts. So what I'm just going to try to do is identify who the Girl Scouts are. So Stacy, are you part of the Girl Scouts?
No, ma'am. I'm
okay.
Here. Yeah. I'm here.
Okay. Karen Wallace, are you part of the Girl Scouts?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And how about Maggie? Are you part of the Girl Scouts?
Yes, ma'am.
And how about Lily or Leela?
Lilia?
Yeah. Are you
Yes,
part
I'm
of the
part
Girl
of the Girl
Scouts? Oops. I didn't catch that.
Lily
Yes,
is
I am
part of
part of the Girl Scouts.
That's a yes. Okay. Boy, I've got more people coming on. Okay. How about I got someone who says it's Marin's iPad. Are you
That's
part
a
of the
girl-
Girl Scouts?
Yes.
Okay.
We need to get people to mute their microphones. We're getting a lot of echoing.
Yeah. And then we've got Meta. Are you part of the Girl Scouts?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
Okay.
And it's Mita.
Oh, Mita. Okay, Mita. Okay. How about Alexis? Are you
Yes,
part
I
of the Girl-
am.
Okay, great. Jimmy, I've got Jim, and it looks like it's just a picture of the road.
I am not part of the Girl Scouts.
Okay. Kelly Winkle, are you going to be talking with the Girl Scouts?
Nope, I'm not part of the Girl Scouts.
Okay. How about you, Yusha Devi? Are you part of the Girl Scouts?
No, I'm not.
Okay. And I'm trying to think. Did I ask Matt, are you going to be talking with the Girl Scouts?
Not me.
Okay. Have I identified everybody on the call who's going to be part of the Girl Scouts? Did I miss anybody?
I think there's someone logging in right now.
Okay.
It says Emily Troop 614. I'm guessing that's part of the Girl Scouts,
Okay.
but they haven't said anything, so you might ask them.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to, right now I've got Karen, is as part of the Girl Scout, Lalila, Marin, Alexis, and Emily. Who did I miss?
I think Maggie's part of that.
Yes,
Maggie's-
Maggie as well, please.
Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, because you're on the agenda, I'm going to give you the opportunity to make public comments. And if you want to talk to one of the agenda items, and then for sure you're number 2 on the agenda, and then you can make your presentation there. Okay? Okay, so why don't I start? Stacy, did you want to make a public comment?
Yeah, I'm Stacy Barrett, and I am just asking for approval to get an event that's going to help.
Okay, you're on the agenda too then, I think. So, but did you want to make a public comment in the public comment section of the meeting?
No, basically just doing the.
Okay, that's fine. And I'm assuming then that you did not want to make any other comment related to the agenda.
No, not until number 3.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So Karen Wallace, did you want to make a public comment or a comment on the agenda?
No, thank you.
Okay. Maggie, did you want to make a public comment or comment on the agenda?
No, thank you.
Jim, did you want to make a public comment or a comment on the agenda?
Yes, please, public comment.
Okay. And Matt Whittington, did you want to make a public comment or a comment on the agenda?
21B and 36, please.
21B and 36. Okay. And Kelly, did you want to make a public comment?
No, thank you, and no items either.
Okay. Yusha, DV, did you want to make a public comment or something, or make a comment on the agenda?
I want to comment on the agenda item 36.
36. Okay. And Megan, did you want to make a public comment?
Yes, public comment, but no agenda items.
Okay. And Michael Willett, did you want to make a public comment or on the agenda item?
No public comment.
Okay, that's a no. And Therese, did you want to make a public comment?
I do. I want to, I think, item 36, and then what item is it if I don't want to pay for Lewis's legal fees? What number is that? Or is that public?
I'm trying to think. I'm looking at it
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything specific about that, so I think I'll just put you at the public comment. How about that?
Super duper.
Okay. And Julie, did you want to make a public comment? Julie Garcia? Okay. And
Yeah.
Leela, you're part of the Girl Scouts. Did you want to make a public comment?
Catherine, agenda item 14 addresses the issue of the payment of legal fees for me.
Oh, does it? Okay. Okay, so I will change that to number 14 then. Okay. Okay, Marin, did you want to make a public comment or a comment about the agenda?
No, thank you.
Okay, and Mita, how about you? Did you want to make a public comment?
Yes, please. Items 36 and 14, please.
36 and 14. Would you also want to make a public comment or just the two agenda items?
Just those two agenda items, please.
Okay, and Alexis, did you want to make a public comment or a comment on the agenda item?
No, thank you.
And Emily, did you want to make a comment on a public comment or comment on the agenda item?
No, thank you.
Okay, and Linda, I'm assuming you want to make a public comment?
Yes, please.
And which agenda item did you want to start with?
I'm going to do 6, 7, 9, 15, 16, 24, 29, and 35.
Okay. And Sarah Teal, I'm not seeing you, but I'm assuming you're there. It doesn't look like she's there. Okay. Okay, so hold on. 1, 2.
David Flores is on the line as well and would like to make a comment.
Okay, good. Okay. So you want to make a public comment?
No, just talk on agenda 14 and 30. What was it? 35, I believe it was.
36, I'll bet.
36, yes.
Okay, just those two. Okay, is there anybody that I've missed? Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3. Looks like I've got 4 public comments and then lots of comments on the agenda items. So it looks like we've got a 2-minute public comment, and then everybody's agenda items comments are just going to be 1 minute. So David, why don't we start with you?
Start.
No, I'd rather go last. I'd rather go in order.
Honey, there is no order. I'm giving you an opportunity.
Ma'am, if you could pick somebody else, I have to gather my content. Thank you.
Okay. Linda Fobb, let's start with you. Public comment.
Start.
Okay, Catherine, I got to include number 36 in my agenda items because I did print that page.
Okay,
Please,
hold on.
30.
Yeah, so 35 and 36?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. Let's start with you, Linda. Public comment, 2 minutes.
I am concerned about your discriminatory practices, Catherine, allowing the Girl Scouts and another MUD resident to present social agendas to this board while denying members of the community forum an opportunity to present matters of public trust and financial concerns to this board, which impact every property owner and resident, is an unjustifiable failure of leadership. 153 families are struggling to pay their water bill this month. In this unprecedented time, many families live on a high wire with no safety net to brace a fall. This board needs to evaluate their priorities with that in mind.
Okay, and then, okay, agenda item 6, 1 minute.
The entire bond application report and all of the supporting documents need to be published on the MUD's website. All elective improvements and necessary repairs need to be clearly identified separately. This board spent $150,000 in April to clean and inspect the sanitary sewer system, and tonight you are prepared to give Infomark another $23,000 to jet the wastewater main line. It seems like the board should have done that in the original $150,000. How much overhead did you pay Infomark for this work? A complete accounting of this entire project needs to be made public so we can see who's profiting from this effort. In March 20th special meeting, Louis Zerbergon suggested pausing major projects because the district's reserves could be jeopardized by current events. We are still in the midst of a pandemic. What has changed to allow you to feel comfortable spending money on major projects now? Why are there no meetings?
Okay, agenda item 7, report from the district's landscape contractor.
The slideshow presented last month by Sunscape had some beautiful pictures of the landscaping they put in last year. However, they and you need to go back to see that close to 50% of what they planted in Sunchase Park is dead. Yet in tonight's bookkeeper's report, you indicate that you've just spent another $11,000 to replace dead trees. Was there no one-year warranty provided on their plantings, which is standard practice? If so, why have they not been held responsible? If not, why do you continue such abhorrent contracting practices? You never seem to miss an opportunity to waste the taxpayers' money.
Okay, agenda item 9, report from the district manager and affected persons.
Start.
The collection line repairs graphic of cost estimates is not consistent with the infrastructure committee meeting notes and the costs identified for these Infomark services. This demands a closer look and release of the public's records. The invoice to Shine for Christmas lights indicates they were sold to Megan Dudo in care of Amwana on October 15th, 2020. Why is the district being presented with the bill for Megan Dudo's personal expenses, particularly since she is no longer the president of Amwana? My estimate on Monday of $50,000 that Megan has personally consumed of this district's revenue through Amwana for her pet projects didn't include the Light Up the Park events over the years. So I'm guessing she's directly responsible for accepting something closer to $70,000 in public funds for these pet projects.
Yes.
Agenda item 15.
Start.
We're on 10.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed writing 10 down. Sorry.
That's okay.
10, prior and pending open records requests.
Start.
This month, 2 law firms were paid $6,308 to send emails and letters, once again denying or delaying the public access to the district records, calling the requests expired since the district has not satisfied open records requests for 7 months. The attachment shows what the district is attempting to hide. Jenna and Art, you both have failed this district as the final check in your budget committee meetings to prevent the fraud, waste, and abuse of the public's funds. You have both failed this community and your oath of office for approving such wasteful spending. You should be champions for transparency, but instead, you've approved invoices that pay lawyers to withhold records. You are both a
Linda?
part of the problem. Yes?
Linda, hold on. We lost you for a moment. Why don't you go back about two sentences and start over?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. I'll just read the last paragraph. Jenna and Art, you have both failed this district as the final check in your budget committee meetings to prevent the fraud, waste, and abuse of the public's funds. You have both failed this community and your oath of office for approving such wasteful spending. You should be champions for transparency, but instead, you've approved invoices that pay lawyers to withhold records.
Okay, so
now we're on 15.
15, okay.
Start.
Renaming of London Lane Pond in recognition of service to the district. That this MUD board takes so many personal liberties with this district's assets to benefit one person is an example of your self-congratulatory style that is completely inappropriate for any government. But it should come as no surprise to anyone who has witnessed the unrestrained self-aggrandizement the honoree has become recognized for in this district. This move is true to form.
16, report from the Deed Restriction Committee.
Start.
I want to be sure the people on this call tonight understand that public funds are being used to defend the private, voluntary Amwana in the lawsuit against them for trampling on the property rights of residents of Anderson Mill West. Now they are being held to account for their actions, and this MUD board is using district revenue to defend them. This represents a clear, ongoing conflict of interest since the private Amwana's 3-member executive committee includes 2 MUD board directors, Catherine Frankie and Louis Zervigon. They control Amwana with their majority, yet they have never recused themselves from a MUD board vote on gifting money to their own private organization. That is shameless.
24, report from the Infrastructure Committee.
In
Start.
1984, when the city of Cedar Park consented to the creation of Williamson-Travis County's MUD1, the developers had a bond amount approved of $25.8 million, but they only initially issued $19.9 million of those pre-approved bonds. There is still remaining money, the original pre-approved bond amount sitting there, and that's the money the board is going after. Don't be fooled into thinking that you had a voice or a vote on the original bond amount or a voice on more indebtedness. You didn't. The MUD board has twisted themselves and their attorney and their accountant into precedent to make sure that any tax increase that comes as a result of new bond debt is under the legal limit that would require a vote of the property owners rather than focusing on what actual district needs necessitate issuing bonds. Translation, they are more worried about denying the public a vote on more bonds and taxes than they are in legitimately developed budgetary plan to justify it.
Okay, agenda item 29, First Amendment to the Operations and Maintenance Agreement between the district and Infomark.
Start.
Once again, the Infomark contract is being amended to include a bookkeeper for an additional $30,000 a year. This despite the fact that they are already under contract to provide this service. Why are there no minimum requirements for the person that does this job, given the last 2 bookkeepers screwed it up so bad it cost the district nearly $8,000 in IRS penalties and fines? They've also reimbursed directors, contractors, and Amwana without having receipts to substantiate the reimbursement. Why is Infomark to be rewarded for this incompetence? Why was the existing Infomark contract not being reduced by the same dollar amount for bookkeeping services they already are being paid for? This service contract needs to be rebid to protect the financial interests of this community because clearly this board is not interested in doing that.
Okay, 35, acceptance of resignation of Director Louis Zervigon.
Louis will go down in the history of this MUD as one of the most corrupt board members to ever grace the boundaries of this district. A narcissist as morally and ethically compromised as a person can be. He has been the ringleader in the malfeasance that is bringing the actions of this board inside a judge's courtroom. Louis can run away from Texas, but he cannot run away from the law.
And 36, appointment of replacement director to fill unexpired term of Louis Zervigon.
Start.
I should not have to tell this board that to appoint anyone to fill Louis's vacancy with the election just 13 days away is a slap in the face of democracy. 2 people will be elected to this board 13 days from now, and those people, along with the remaining 2 board directors, should be the ones that decide who fills the vacancy created by Louis. The decision on an appointee should not include 2 members whose terms will expire on election day, and certainly should not, by law, include Louis, who is resigning. If you care at all about the people of this MUD district, let their votes count, and the people they've selected shape their future. There is no district business between now and the installation of new directors in November that necessitates proposing or approving an appointee tonight. Thank you, Catherine. I'm done.
Okay, thank you. David Flores, agenda item 14.
Start.
David Flores, you're up. Going once, Going twice. Oh, good.
Oh, sorry, Catherine.
You're there. Okay, agenda item 14. Ethics
Start.
and complaints by Sarah Teal.
Yeah, I just want to say that I truly believe that us taxpayers should not be paying for Mr. Zervigon's lawyer expenses due to the fact that he cannot control himself and keep his mouth shut and make it a personal issue against me. So I just wanted to let the board know that I am not happy with the taxpayers paying his legal fees.
Okay. And agenda item 36, appointment of replacement director to fill unexpired term.
Start.
I would have to second what Linda would just said. I believe that leave it up to the people that get elected, whoever it may be. It really think it's the fair thing to do. It's kind of like the Supreme Court nomination, kind of the same concept. Wait till the election passes, and then let's let the people decide who gets voted in. That's it.
Okay, thank you, David. Next, I'm going to go with Stacy, and you had a public comment.
Start.
Catherine, Stacy is making a presentation.
Oh, I'm sorry. But I also thought she wanted to make a public comment.
No, I will just do it during.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
And I've got Jim who wants to make a public comment.
Yeah, actually, I'm commenting on item number 36 and 37, so I can do it both at the same time.
Okay, so we're going to do 36. You said 36 and 37?
Yes.
Okay, 36, appointment of replacement director. Okay.
Start.
I would like to publicly oppose the appointment of replacement for the vacancy caused by the resignation of Louis Zervigon at this time. This board should abide by the democratic process and not circumvent it. With the election of two new board members in 2 weeks, it should be the decision of all 4 elected officials, not just the 2 remaining members. At the November meeting, a list of nominees to fill the vacancy should be brought forth by all 4 board members, along with the reason for their nomination. All 4 members of the board should then vote on the replacement to fill Mr. Zervigon's remaining term. This is how the democratic process is supposed to work. Texas law allows up to 60 days to fill a vacancy, and the current president should not circumvent democracy and the will of the residents for her own personal agenda.
Okay, agenda item 37, appointment of member to deed restriction committee to replace Louis Zervigon.
Yes. Likewise, the filling of the committee vacancy caused by Mr. Zervigon's resignation should also be delayed until the November meeting for the same reasons I mentioned under agenda item number 36. Thank you.
Okay, and Usha Devi, you want to talk on agenda item 36?
Yeah, I'm not sure if the announcement for the vacancy was published and the community is well aware about the position or not. So I request you all to give a chance to the public to act and show their interest to sit on this board and to serve the community. The end goal for this appointment should be to pick a candidate with deep commitment to serve the public, but not just to have any personal agenda. I think the board also need time to interview candidates and to evaluate the candidate's interest and capabilities to serve as a board member. So I hope this board will give enough time to the community to apply for the position and select the best choice of 1 or 2, and then a vote for them in the next public meeting. That's all my request. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Megan, you had a public comment.
Yeah. I don't usually say anything back to Linda when she talks because it's kind of never really worth it, but I am extremely angry that there are 11-year-old girls on this call who have come here because they are doing their Bronze Award project and they want to do something good for the community. And they are brave enough to get up here and speak at a public board meeting that will be recorded and shown to the entire public, are as much a part of this community as any one of us. And the fact that Linda would publicly shame them and make them feel like they don't belong here and they don't deserve to have a place on the agenda at a public community meeting is infuriating, and it demonstrates that she has absolutely zero boundaries when it comes to her efforts to try to make the board look bad. I am furious. And with respect to the money that was written to me, I have no idea what that's about. You are lying. I have never seen a dime from this district. It was an old invoice, and I am just so sick of your lies and twists, Linda. It's disgusting. I know I don't have much time left. What I originally came here to say was just that we are losing 2 board members after tonight, Luis and Chris. And since I don't have much time, I just wanted to say on behalf of the community, thank you so much for your service. You have selflessly given yourself to this community for years, and you've made our world a slightly better place because of your willingness to serve. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Therese, Nikki, you want to talk on agenda item 36.
Yeah, I just wanted to get it on record that I think we should wait until the elections to replace Lewis.
Okay, and you also wanted to talk on agenda item 14, Ethics Commission's complaint filed by Sarah Teal.
So is that the Lewis legal fees? I feel like it's all
Yeah, I guess,
together.
yes, I guess so.
Yeah, I feel like Lewis might be retiring or quitting because of something personal, and I don't want to have to pay for that. I think the whole thing is somewhat of a tactic. But anyway, that's just me. We don't want to replace Lewis until the new members are in, and I don't want to pay for the legal fees.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Meta, agenda item 14. Ethics.
I think that Teresa said it all very well. I second everything she says. I don't believe that we, as taxpayers, are on the hook for anything that Lewis has said or done. I'm opposed to paying for that. I'm not even part of Anderson Mill West. Additionally, I also feel that we need to wait until the new elected committee or the new directors are in place before someone's appointed. There is no business that goes on between now and then, so I'm not really seeing the hurry. It's a little suspect to me.
Okay, and I guess that was also your comment about agenda item 36, appointment to replace the director.
And that's correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay, is there anybody that I missed or who has come on that I didn't give a chance to talk?
Yes,
I
Catherine,
don't
I gave you my name and everything and you took it down, but
I'm sorry, who did I miss?
Matt Whittington.
Oh, I am so sorry, Matt. Matt,
okay.
you want to talk about agenda item 21, which was reports from the Customer Care Committee.
I mistakenly thought 2114, and then when you said 14 was about the legal fees, that's actually the agenda item I wanted to speak to.
Okay, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. So you want to talk about number 14? That's fine.
And then 36, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm here to echo the comments of other residents. In Monday night's meeting, the resolution was passed to pay for Mr. Zervigon's personal legal expenses, claiming he was acting in good faith of the board when the law was broken. I would just like the board to reconsider this resolution, and instead of paying his legal fees in advance, consider a reimbursement of his legal fees should he be found innocent. That would, in my opinion, be the correct way to handle this matter. If a law was broken, I don't think it's every taxpayer's responsibility to pay for that defense. He should be willing to spend his own money just to be assured and to assure all the residents that he's not going to take advantage of the $4 million annual budget.
Okay, and then agenda item 36, appointment to replace director to fill unexpired term.
Yes, so I definitely did not expect as many people to speak out against this item as have. So I was calling in to be a voice for some of those people, but it would appear as though we're all on the same page. In the name of democracy, I would like the board to consider waiting until after the newly elected board members take office to speak to this matter and appoint the candidate replacement for Mrs. Zervigon. A couple other residents had really good opinions regarding nominating other candidates and perhaps posting it and giving other members of the MUD a chance who might want to be appointed to the role. And I just think that would be in the best interest of democracy and of the residents. So they had a voice in this also.
Okay, thank you. And it looks like, Bill, it looks like a couple of people have jumped on. We've got, is it Christopher O'Toole?
Yeah, I was hoping to speak to Agenda 24.
Okay, and okay, so you wanted to talk on Agenda 24, which was report from the Infrastructure Committee?
Yeah, I don't know if that's the appropriate one, but there's like a bridge or a railing by the sidewalk on Old Mill between Madeline Loop and Robbie Lane. And it's got like a steep drop off right from the sidewalk, where normally the other sort of bridges that have railings like that have a buffer of grass there. I just feel it's pretty dangerous. I was just hoping that maybe that was the right committee to go look at that.
Okay, so Chris, give me the address, the location again. It was on what and what?
Old Mill Road between Madeline Loop and Robbie Lane. The intersections of Madeline Loop and Old Mill, and the Robbie Lane and Old Mill intersections.
Okay, and it's going into what? Going into
it's
Madeline Loop?
The bridge is on Old Mill, and so then if you look at both sides of Old Mill, there's sort of a railing there. That's the sidewalk on Old Mill.
Okay.
Just as a sharp drop off.
I think,
I sent an email.
I think he's talking about the drainage channel that crosses up the middle there.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Okay. I'm writing that down so that we can do a follow-up. Okay, Beth Jones, you've jumped on the call. Did you want to make a public comment?
No, I'm great. Thank you, Catherine.
Okay, did you want to make any comments on the agenda items?
I'm not.
Okay, so I'm going to ask it again. Is there anybody that I missed? Okay, I'm thinking we got everybody then. So at this point, I am going to close this section of the meeting, which is the public comment section. And we're going to go to agenda item number 2, which is the presentation by the Girl Scouts. So Girl Scouts, take it away. I see some girls popping up now.
Okay. We are Troop 614, and we are presenting to the MUD today to ask for permission to install and build our own natural playscape. As a troop, we have raised funds to make this project happen through fall products and cookie sale fundraisers. Mind that we are not asking the MUD for money or materials. We are simply asking for the approval of the MUD to build within a district park. If you would like to donate or help us make and build our project, feel free. We need as much help as we can get.
What are some benefits of outdoor play? Outdoor play provides a lot of important benefits. Some of those include a lower risk of nearsightedness, exposure to bright light, which enhances health and mental performance, opportunities for hands-on learning about physical forces, and better sleep rhythms.
Do kids tend to stay indoors more? A British survey found that half the adults who have participated played outside at least 7 times a week when growing up, while only 23% of their kids do that now. Compared to the 1970s, children now spend 50% less time in unrestricted outdoor activities. Despite TV, video games, and computers, 40% of those kids in the British study said that they would like to play outdoors more often, but their parents simply don't allow it because they thought it was too dangerous.
A natural playground is a play area that is made out of natural materials. These playgrounds are healthy for the environment. Here are some examples of natural playscapes.
What are some
some benefits of a natural playscape. You might agree that some of the information we've said is quite interesting, but what are the benefits of a natural playscape? Well, they make kids forget about stress, encourage kids to go outside, reduce crime, and help kids use their imagination.
You may ask, why are we sharing these random facts?
And you see, those were leading up to what we're presenting about.
We would like to incorporate a natural playscape into Sunchase Park.
If you look at the slide, you can see our draft
and the spot we would like to build it on.
We have created an example list of materials that could be used while completing this project. The materials are bird feeders, sandbags, bamboo and sticks, plants, benches, hummingbird feeders, a play dome, and tree stumps. We estimate the cost of these materials to be $810, which will be funded by our troop. We are happy to work with the district to finalize the plan. As you can see, a natural playscape offers many benefits to our community, including giving kids a safe, environmentally friendly place to play outdoors. With your permission, this project will be funded by Girl Scout Troop 614 and installed with the help of community volunteers. All are welcome.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, thank you. I am really excited about this project. Okay, so what exactly is a play dome?
So it's kind of like a dome that is in the ground and then it has holes in it and then you can climb through it and hang off of it and things like that.
So this play dome is something that you're going to construct?
Yes.
Okay. So is this play dome sort of a kit that you're going to buy? Is that a good way of describing it?
It depends on what the engineers think.
Okay. Okay. Jana, I know that we've talked in the past when we've been talking about we've got trees that need to be taken down in Anderson Mill, and we had planned on wanting to keep them because we knew that they probably were going to be retasked for something else.
Right.
Mackenzie, can we pop you up in here? Where are we in terms of dealing with those trees that need to be come down? And
So at our last parks meeting, not this most recent one, but the one prior when we spoke to Scott about it, are you referring to the Anderson Mill ones?
yes, because we were going to keep the dead body, so to speak, because we knew that they were either going to be turned into benches or that we were going to use the trunks to make the stepping rounds, I guess is what you would call them. And that would be something that could be incorporated into the design from the Girl Scouts.
So when we spoke with Scott with Sunscapes, he did let us know that at that day that we spoke to him that they were already being taken down, and we kind of discussed leaving the pieces back there in Anderson Mill West Park just to keep them out of harm's way for the time being until we decided to do something with them. I do know that they have been cut down and that they did seal the ends so that they didn't rot or have any damage in the meantime. So I think it would just be a good opportunity to go out there and assess them and figure out which ones we could make into benches and which ones we could make into other things.
Okay. Okay, so what is the timeline for your project?
We're flexible with that. We can work with the board for that.
Okay, well, am I assuming that this is something that you would like to be completed in like the next 30 to 90 days?
Probably not. It's pretty quick.
Okay.
Don't you think that's pretty quick?
Well, I'm just asking, I'm just asking the questions here.
We could probably do longer than that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of just a project that we can work on and just kind of see how long it takes.
Yeah,
well, I'm thinking what we're going to have to do is we're going to have a build day. You guys are going to have to plan to, to coordinate all of your community volunteers. Am I correct about that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Do any other board members have any questions that they want to ask?
I think it's a really neat idea. I think we need to talk to our engineer about it a little bit and get his input. I'm not sure if we want to make a motion tonight regarding this wonderful project because we really need to get his input. What do you think, Catherine? Should we have them come, a few of them come to our next parks meeting, or should we make a motion tonight? Or
somebody is trying to say something. Yeah.
Hey, this is Therese Nikki. So odd question, but if someone were to get hurt at this park, who is liable for that? Like where does responsibility lie if we do something like this with holes in the ground?
Well, that's all the part of the whole process, but as is any, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, it doesn't matter whether you're walking in our park or playing on our swings. If you get sick, if you decide you've become hurt, we can't stop you from suing us. How about that? Is that the best way to put it, Bill?
I guess I'd phrase it a little different in this case. Jan is correct. We're going to need to get the engineer involved only because installing anything in the park is subject to various regulations, permits, and so forth. We're also going to have to maintain it going forward. So we need to know what we're looking at. And the safety issue would also be in that analysis. So once all those hurdles are passed and it's constructed, then it comes under our liability policy we have in place for the district. And yes, we can't stop someone from filing suit, but the district has liability for, potential liability for everything that's in the park now. So if it's built per the engineer and the appropriate safety factors, shouldn't be any more hazardous than any other feature in the park.
And then who incurs the cost for our engineer looking at the Girl Scout stuff? Or the Girl Scouts pay
hold
for
on,
that?
I have a question. Bill, we're not in public comments anymore, so can you go ahead and mute her? Unless she's with the Girl Scouts.
I don't know that she understands our rules, but after public comment, the audience or the public is not allowed to make additional comments.
Okay, so I'm very much want to move forward and encourage the Girl Scouts with their project. So and I suspect that it's probably going to go through a couple of iterations as we take a look at their design and look at the space, et cetera, et cetera. Also, if we, like I said, the MUD, purposely did not dispose of trees that we were having taken down that were dead because we knew that they might want to be incorporated into some other feature in one of our parks. This and benches or stepping circles. I don't know what you call those. So Bill, what's the appropriate thing for us to do to move forward in terms of, do we need to make a motion right now? But because we need to, I think it's appropriate to work with the Parks Committee moving forward to come up with a plan. And I think it's probably going to take a little bit of time, and it's probably going to be the December meeting before we have a meeting or a design that has been reviewed and vetted and ready to be presented to the board. Does that make, do you think I'm probably got a more realistic time frame there?
Are you asking me?
Yes, I do. Well, I think it's
I think that's more realistic, and probably an appropriate motion would be to have someone move to authorize the Parks Committee to work with the district's engineer and the Girl Scouts to review this preliminary plan to see if it's feasible and whether it can be installed in Sunchase Park.
Okay. Somebody want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay. So what motion are you going to make?
I don't know. How should I word it? I didn't have
Okay.
that in my notes.
Okay. We moved for the
Parks Committee moves to
work with the Girl Scouts and the engineers to develop a plan for that the Girl Scouts will install. How about that?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Okay.
That.
Catherine, let me suggest the form of the motion again.
Okay.
And Jana, you can adopt it.
Okay.
The proposed motion would be to authorize the Parks Committee to work with the district engineer and the Girl Scouts to determine if the proposed plan is feasible for installation in Sunchase Park.
Okay.
Yes, that one.
Okay, that looks that sounds a little better. Thank you. You know, a good wordsmith is a good thing to have. I'll go ahead and second that. Is there any discussion from the rest of the board? Oh, come on, guys, say something.
No, that's appropriate. I think we need to discuss it with the with Herb and the engineering firm, see if it's feasible, and then take the next step after that.
Okay.
This is Louis. I'd like to thank the Girl Scouts for being here. I'd like to thank them for offering their ideas and very constructive thoughts. And that's what this community is about, is people doing that kind of thing to make the community better. And young ladies, you're very brave to stand in front of a microphone and speak. You've probably never done it before, but you did it very well. I'm also sorry that you had to hear some of the sad, vexatious, negative stuff at the beginning of this meeting. We value you and we value what you do and always will. Thank you.
We do. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, any more discussion? Okay, well then I'll go ahead and call the vote. Chris?
Yes.
Jana?
Yes.
Art? Yes.
Louis?
Yes.
And I vote yes too. Okay, well, so let's do this. Let's come up, Mackenzie, do you have contact information for the Girl Scouts?
Oh, I do not. So if somebody would like to provide it, that'd be great.
Okay.
I think Lee has it.
I'm not sure if Lee has it, but I would like to go ahead and get it since she's not in the meeting.
I've emailed her because of the resources for questions. I've emailed her before.
Okay. Thanks.
Well, that's great. So what I would like to suggest is that next week we start communicating and coming up with a time where we can all meet at the park and have a conversation and then about this in more detail. So I don't want us to lose any momentum. Let's go ahead and kick this off because I really think that it's going to take up until the December board meeting for us to have something that is tangible that we're going to be able to actually vote on. Okay. Is there anything else that needs to be discussed as it relates to this agenda item?
Nope.
Okay.
Nothing I can think of.
Okay.
Thanks, Girl Scouts, for coming today.
Yes, I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. Okay, agenda item 3. Presentation by Stacy Barrett on craft fair in Anderson Mill West Park.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Hi.
Okay, so I'm gonna basically get started. And so the reason I'm here this evening is to get your approval for an event that will help a large number of people. I've had my booth for over 8 years at events such as Cypress Elementary, Cedar Park High School, Project Graduation, Glenn High School, Project Graduation, and obviously COVID has changed all of this. This has affected vendors and families financially. I started trying to come up with something that could help them all. I recently found out that Glenn High School Project Graduation has been approved to hold an outdoor fall market on November 15th at VFW in Leander. If we were able to have an event at Anderson Mill West Park, this could help a large amount of people, not just the vendors, but the families. So I have a layout of the event that I'm proposing. Obviously, the first and foremost important thing is to follow the COVID CDC guidelines and executive order. All of our vendors would be required, of course, to have hand sanitizers at their booth for both them and the visitors to use. All vendors will be required to wear masks at all times. We will have the layout of the booths 10 feet distance, which I know everything is usually 6 feet distance, but if you have, you know, people walking by and looking at booths, 10 feet distance in between the booths, I think gives people a little more room to feel safe. We would like to see if there can also be like hand sanitizers. I know at the park, there are some, and if by chance the bathrooms are open, definitely to have some outside of those. When the vendors arrive to unload their booth items, they must park in the parking lot on of Cypress Elementary or on the streets. They would also have to, once they get all of their items out of their vehicles, they would have to return to the parking lot on the opposite side to give visitors more room. Also, I would not allow any of those vendors regarding moving their vehicles on the park. I do not want the park to be damaged by any way with people pulling their cars onto the park. We would have vendors pay a small fee, $20, $25 is what I'm looking for them to pay for their booths, which only a small portion of that would be made for supplying for, if you know, more hand sanitizers, locations where people can use it, for signs to show the event that is taking place, you know, those around, also flyers to hand out. I've actually even talked to someone at Glenn, and they're actually even going to allow me, if it's approved, to hand signs out at their event next month. The rest of the money from the vendors is not going to come directly through us. It's actually, we have not decided, a nonprofit organization that is going to help families to give their kids Christmas gifts, because there's so many that are struggling and may not even have enough to buy maybe one gift for their children for Christmas. So that is the main reason for having this event. And so all that money. Also, we are not going to require the visitors. We're not going to sit there and make them pay, $5 for a ticket to get in. However, we're going to have it for the nonprofit organization that we use, for them to be able to actually donate that money directly to them. And if people come in and they want to put some cash in, but we'll also have a link for them to actually do it online. So basically, the biggest reason that I have thought about this, and with Glenn being approved, it kind of gave me some hope. This is going to help the vendors, and it's going to help the families that all of this COVID has gotten to a point to where vendors in the past, that was family Christmas money, along with myself. And then the families that need the help. And so the name that has been chosen for this event is Be the Light Craft Fair. The date that we are requesting for use would be on December 5th. Time wise, we're looking at like 11 to 5, but that can obviously, once approved, if we need to adjust that, we can. So I also, as far as the layout of the park, obviously the vendors would have their booths in the area. I'm going to hold this up. I don't know if y'all can even see it. But can you see that?
Actually, probably better than you realized. Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Is that good? So
Yeah.
that would be the areas for the booths. So it would give distance, but away from the playground, away from the tennis, field, all of that. And if we could possibly find out the pavilion as well. I've also talked to other people. I've had some suggestions of having like kids dance groups or all that. And of course, all that is still up in the air. We're still trying to, once we get approved, then we will take it from there.
Okay. So is that are you done? So I can start asking questions? Okay.
Thank you guys so much for letting me talk to you.
Are you going to have food vendors there?
Huh?
Are you going to have food vendors there?
No. Well, I mean, it's not going to be, I make jelly and I have for years. It's Crazy Stacy's jelly. Okay. However, in all the past, I've had, crackers and samples. Obviously, no, that is not happening.
Okay.
We're not going to have any vendors that with trucks and stuff like, we're just not going to deal with any of the food. It's only for short
amount. People have to have masks on, right?
Yes, masks are definitely. I know with Glenn High School and going by the rules and stuff, obviously every single vendor is required to have a mask on during the time of the event. Again, safety. As far as the people coming through, how Glenn High School did it is, encouraged. Obviously, we're going to be putting that on there whenever we send out all the information that we can't say it's required. We can't control them when they come in, but it's highly, highly recommended, as Glenn High School had put it on theirs.
Okay.
Okay, so you want to use the pavilion, and then you want to go out and then have them like set up like pop-ups or something like that into the park itself. Is that the plan?
Yes, in just that area. It would not be around, the playground or any of those areas. We would keep that separate, so there is not any of that.
So I'm assuming that what we're talking about is, along the back part of the park, we've got the DG trails. And so the
Yes.
people would just be walking down the DG trails from vendor to vendor to vendor. Is that what you're envisioning?
They can actually, they don't have to be walking down the trail. They can actually, and still trying to figure out a way that maybe we could have even an entrance way, which is, you know, it's another thing kind of figure out. But it's gonna be in that, sorry, I'm trying it again, in this circled area. So we can have an estimated, with the distance of 10 feet apart between the booths, we're looking at that whole area that I circled right there.
And is that the corner of El Salito and Dagama right there? It's in the that big open space right there.
Yes, right directly across the street from Cypress Elementary.
Okay, and how many vendors do you think you're going to be able to attract?
With that distance, making sure between each booth, we are looking at around 60 vendors.
Wow.
And that the layout and everything and safety issues, around 60.
And so have you actually started contacting people to say I'm trying to put an event together? Will you come if I get approval?
Yes. And let me just tell you, the vendors, like I said earlier, who it's hurting them not being able to have these events that they've, you know, done. I've also talked to several people that would love to be able to go to an event like this, because Cedar Park High School project graduation's out, you know, all of those holiday events, they're not happening. Glenn, they worked really hard. This is only the third year they've had seniors. And so I got some advice from them as well. But yes, everybody, even just people that wouldn't have booths, are so excited because they would love to get out to an event like this.
Okay. Okay, so and what kind of response have you had from people who are saying, yes, I want a spot in the event if it goes on?
I went to like a neighborhood thing, and some of the neighbors, they had some booths, and I had even some of them call me yesterday wanting to know. And I said,
okay,
well, wait, but no, there is a lot of people just hoping and praying that this will actually happen, because it, like I said, it's going to help them.
Okay. So Jana, where right now, and Mackenzie, so where are we standing right now with you know, opening our parks? Are our restrooms open yet? I think we're still working at what, 50% capacity? Is that what's going on right now?
Yes, we are. I've checked the other parks like Milburn, Brushy Creek, and several others in the area. They all have their bathrooms open. They're at full capacity as long as people are 6 feet apart. And they are taking reservations, and they have drinking fountains on, apparently, which is scary to me, but. So I have that on for today. Remember the phase 3 of opening? It's under our parks.
Okay, so and then Mackenzie, where were we? I know we talked last month about hand sanitizer. Where did we, and you were able to get supplies and dispensers?
We have 4 installed total. 2 of those being at Anderson Mill because it is such a large park. One is near the restrooms and one is under the pavilion area. But for an event that size, and those that don't have a very large capacity as far as what they can hold, I would recommend there would probably need to be maybe just 2 or 3 stand-up ones that could then be put into storage after the fact or whatever. We can look at the price at those too. And I did want to go ahead and update you guys as far as the occupancy limit for that pavilion. And that is according to Pat Flynn, who is the fire prevention chief for Cedar Park Fire Department. he provided us with a 342 people for events at standing room, but 160 people for events with tables and chairs. And so that is pre-pandemic numbers. So just keep that in mind.
Okay. 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 So at this point, what you're asking for is that you would like to reserve the pavilion, and then permission to have to host this event.
Yes.
Isn't that right? Okay. Bill, is there anything that we need to discuss in order to move forward with something like this?
Yes, so it will require board approval, obviously.
Okay.
And then we need to look at the park rules that are in place. So
Okay.
we have clear rules on reserving and renting the pavilion. And this event appears to go beyond the pavilion into the park area.
Yes.
And we have, in our park rules, we have rules for special events, which even though this is one time, it is commercial, money is going to be exchanged and so forth. So we have under special events that you can rent the park for special events. Here in the rules right now, we have an annual fee of $250. And then we have a requirement of a real property use agreement. So the board needs to consider whether they want to make any exceptions, because it would require board approval to make any exceptions to the rules. Otherwise, the board could approve the event subject to compliance with the park rules.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, one-time events still require a $250 fee. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's an annual fee of $250 that we put in the rules. It was primarily intended for people conducting fitness classes and things like
Yes,
that.
that's what I was thinking is I don't think it was for something of this type. Yeah.
It may not have been intended for it, but it is in the rules. So if you wanted to alter that, would require board approval.
Okay.
Can I speak just real quick?
Sure. Yeah.
Here is what we're hoping for this to end up happening is for this to be a once a year event. And so that way the good cause and everything else would continue each year to help those families and the vendors and everything else. We never know with the whole COVID thing, but still it doesn't matter before and after. There's still going to be kids that may not get a gift for Christmas. And so I just want to let you know that I'm not, hopefully this will be the first annual event that we can do for a nonprofit.
Right. And right now I'm comfortable with the whole concept of giving you permission to try to stage an event in our community, because I think that it's going to be a successful event for our community. And Jana, how are you leaning?
I think it would be great for the community right now because everybody is pretty much still down in the dumps. Nobody really wants to go shopping in malls. Everybody's stuck in their homes still and buying on Amazon. I think it would be really cool to get out and go to a fun craft fair.
Right. Okay. Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a motion and tell me again what the name of your craft fair was going to be. The Light Craft Fair.
It is Be the Light.
Oh, Be the Light. Got it. Okay.
Because everything that is taking place is going to be the light for the vendors, the families that need the assistance.
Okay. So I make a motion that we approve the Be the Light Craft Fair on December 5th in the Anderson Mill West Park, and that we waive the annual, was it $200 or $250 fee?
$250.
And we waive the annual $250 fee for this event, since that fee was never really anticipated for something like this. Can I get a second so we can discuss?
I'll second.
Okay.
I'll second that.
So let's open this up to the board. Do you have anything to discuss? I think that we should go ahead and, as community leaders, we should work hard to advertise this event in our community, because I think it's going to be a really good thing for our community, considering we are literally all not getting out enough and interacting with each other. Louis, Art, Chris, do you have anything to add to it?
I had a question. So we have no exception in the policy for events like this that are charitable contributions, or that are
I know it's sort
proceeds
of,
go to.
yeah, it sort of looks like it's like there's a hole or a gap of intent in our park rules, doesn't it? Because this annual, you're right, the annual fee that we're talking about was really geared at
Camp gladiators, tennis, tennis, things like that.
Exactly the camp gladiators, the tennis instructors. We've never had somebody approach us before that said, I want to come do a charity event in your community. And so this is sort of our first bite at the apple, so to speak, at doing an event like this. So it's going to be really important, Stacy, that it's run, that it turns out well.
So is that it? Bill, is it at our discretion to motion something like this? We can, right?
Yes, we
For a good
can.
cause?
With
Yes.
with board approval. It
Yeah, with
requires
board approval. That's right.
Okay.
Okay,
That's all I
so Chris,
I have a comment.
sure.
As it seems, no matter what the board does, there is usually a portion of residents who will be against what we want to do. I would think maybe we should find out up front what the objections are going to be, and address them ahead of time, the valid ones, of course, and see, what objections there may be. Maybe we can get something we didn't think of, or a reason not to do it. But I would just like to be in a position where we've thought about this. It could be like a risk assessment.
I agree. That's a good point.
Well, okay. How do you suggest we go about doing that?
How about a committee?
A committee.
Whatever committee is in charge of that, just do a risk assessment. Find out. I'm sure you'll hear something.
Okay. How about, okay.
You could put a notice on the front page of the website announcing that this is what the plan is, with details through a link, and asking people to comment.
Yeah, I'm thinking that is probably going to be the best way to try to do it.
I don't think.
What was that?
I can't speak.
I think that's a great idea.
Okay, so let's
That way there's no doubt of transparency.
Okay, hold on. Let me put my calendar up there. Hold on.
But you were thinking for December 5th, so you kind of have to start planning.
Yes.
For things now, right?
Yes. So hold on. I'm looking at a calendar here. What I'm thinking and what we should do is the 21st. Let's go ahead. Oh, this is going to work out. This is going to work out well. Let's go ahead and ask for public comment And Bill, we know that we're going to need to have another board meeting next week. Let's put this on the agenda and we will finalize it at the next board meeting. It's going to be next week.
Okay.
How's that?
Yeah,
That sounds good.
Right now, we're shooting for October 29 at 6 o'clock for that
Yes.
special meeting.
Okay, so Mackenzie or Lee, what we're going to need to do, I'm going to need you to get an update made to the website, that we put something on the website, and then and just ask for public comment and about having a craft fair in your community.
Do that. Stacy, would you do me a favor and send me an email with some details that we could possibly list out in that notice?
Yes, definitely.
So if you have a pen and paper, I can give you my email.
I'm here. I'm prepped.
Mackenzie, MAKENZI.scales, SCALES, @inframark, and that's spelled INFRAMARK.com. Just so we have some valid information to post so people can make a good judgment decision based off of that.
Yes, awesome. Thank you, Mackenzie.
Okay, so at this point, I don't think there's any reason to, I don't know, do you think I need to call a vote? Because we're going to defer it to the next meeting.
I agree.
Well, so when is the next meeting again?
It's going to be, we're tentatively are going to be having a meeting next Thursday.
Okay.
October 19th. Yeah.
Okay.
October 29th?
29.
29.
That was yesterday or 2 days ago.
That was 2 days ago.
Yeah, let's get something on the website. They can people can email us at the park, one of the email addresses, like parks.
Yeah, and I want to go on record. That's a good thing, Stacy. I like what you're doing.
Thank you very much.
And Art, you can come sell your art.
There you go.
Art.
No pun intended, right?
Okay, anything else left on for this agenda item then?
I have a question for the minutes, I guess to Bill. So there was a motion and a second. Should that be recorded even though there was no moving the motion for a vote or anything? You're on mute, Bill.
And then I would put the motion in second and indicate that the motion was withdrawn by Catherine Frankie.
Okay.
Okay. And so, and then to clarify, it was Catherine who made the motion and Jana who seconded it, or did I get that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
That's fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for the asking for the clarification. Okay. So Stacy, I think we have a plan. And so hopefully we'll have an affirmative result for you next week. So put that on your calendar, okay?
Yeah.
So Bill, Mackenzie, I'll say, when we get the final date for the next board meeting, make sure that Stacy knows what it is so she can put it on her calendar.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you all
Okay.
so very much.
Oh, well, thank you for doing something for our community. We all appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thanks.
Okay. Agenda item 4, presentations by Anderson Mill West Neighborhood Association, Hunters Glen, Lakeline Oaks, and Valente Hills. I don't believe we have anybody here from them tonight. Okay, agenda item 5, participation by the district in a traffic study related to Astor Pass and other parts of the district. I haven't addressed anything about this this past month. Mackenzie, where do we stand with this? We're not, the last I remember, the county was not comfortable having any kind of signage on Astor Pass itself.
That's pretty much where we stand due to the narrowness of the road, and I think the curvature. They didn't feel like it was safe to place it anywhere on the road, even though we let them know we had volunteering residents that were willing to put it in a driveway. So I think due to just county rules and regulations, they weren't comfortable with it.
Okay.
Can we take that off the agenda?
Yeah, because it looks like we're not going to be able to do much because the county is pretty much saying we're not going to let you do a traffic study.
Yeah, we can do something with like the safe streets and if the safe, what is it called? Safe streets?
Something like that. Yeah.
We can do something like that in the future.
Okay. Okay. Agenda item 6, report from the district engineers. Herb, you're up.
All righty. And the packet there on the agenda 6, we've got the meeting notes from the infrastructure committee.
Hey, is somebody, Mackenzie, can you put those up for us, please? Make them part of the recording, et cetera, et cetera.
1 second. Can you see them?
Yes.
They are there. All right. Well, the first thing we always cover is the water accountability. And this month, Infomark's reporting it at 99%, which is fantastic. I guess we're getting the meters corresponding together with Cedar Park and getting that issue resolved. Under the item B there for the bond issue application, nothing has really been done on that one at this point. Item C is the current budget, the line items under the wastewater items. There you've got a collection line repairs budgeted of 100,000, and you've got a manhole budget number of 75,000. Discussing that along with the upcoming repairs, just for clarity, the infrastructure was going to recommend combining both of those into one line item, which would just be a total amount of 175,000 for collection line repairs and manhole repairs. There's no change in the budget other than going from 2 line items to 1.
Okay. And what's the purpose for that recommendation?
Well, part of it is during the initial videotaping of the facilities, this budget was put together prior to that with an estimate of what we would be looking at for repairs. There's really no manhole repairs to be done. The repairs are all going to be under the collection line, and total the work is going to exceed just 100,000. But within your budget line item, if those two are combined, then you have
okay.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
Hey, Herb, just for our public, can you explain why we have to do this?
Yeah, part of this whole thing started from initially doing the you're required to do a 5-year certification per the TCEQ, which the initial review is done by going in, and they do basically, it's called a light jet. They go in and clean the lines of the solids, and so they can get their cameras to go down the lines themselves. They go through the lines, they look at the wastewater service connection taps, as well as the manholes and each main line along the route. In doing so, what that does is that gives us an opportunity, one, that we review every foot of pipe that's looked at, go through their reports, make sure we're all in concurrence with what the findings were, and then come back with recommendations for items that need to be addressed in order for our office to provide that certification to the TCEQ.
And this was the schedule of items because of the age of all the lines underneath, right? That's
yeah, a lot of it's just due to the age of the system, but the testing is totally separate of the age. It's just every 5 years you're required per state law to go in and do this inspection. Now you've got there's the section over in Valente Hills is not within the Edwards contributing or Edwards aquifer itself. Those 2 zones, you do have to do this videotaping. The age of Valente justified going ahead and doing the entire system at this time.
okay, thanks.
Oh, so just so I'm clear, is we had to do Valente Hills because of the Edwards Aquifer, and because the rest of the district, because of its age, we went ahead and did everything. Did I understand that correctly?
No, I may have said it backwards to
Okay.
confuse. I needed to confuse some people sometimes.
Okay.
The bulk of the districts is within the Edwards Aquifer and or the contributing zone.
Okay.
The section over in Valente Hills does not fall within either one of those categories. But it was prudent. It had not been inspected, and it was this way. And it was prudent to do that while we were set up doing the rest of the district.
Got it.
And Catherine, I'd like to make a comment about this. There's an overarching issue here that's important to note. It used to be that Cedar Park had the right to unilaterally annex us, and it was seen as something that would inevitably happen. Under those circumstances, we could rest easy knowing that as our community aged and it became necessary to deal with aging infrastructure, that would probably occur under Cedar Park's watch after they annexed it. But since then, the laws have changed, and so it makes it now very difficult for Cedar Park to annex us. And I can tell you that MUDs all over the state are having to deal with the possibility, if not the probability, that they may remain as MUDs for a very long time, if not forever. That means that we have to renew a focus on the issue of what are we going to do as time goes forward to maintain aging infrastructure, where we never really thought that that was going to be our problem. And as a neighborhood ages, it will be a long-range, expensive proposition. So it's important to keep in mind that the studies that are being done now are the leading edge of what will become some sort of a plan to take us out into the foreseeable future so that we can generate some sort of a idea of long-range budget on what we'll have to do for repairs of aging infrastructure. The amount that we have available in authorized but unissued bonds may or may not cover that, but it's going to be our responsibility nevertheless. Thank you.
Thanks, Louis. Okay. With that, Herb, do you want me to make the motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the ISC recommends that the board consider combining both collection line repairs and manhole repairs into one budget line item for $175,000.
I second the motion.
Okay. Okay, any more discussion? Because I think you've done a really, really good job of explaining the purpose of why you're making this recommendation. Because what I'm hearing you say is the anticipated repair is going to be a little over $100,000, and in the end, we're not going to need the majority of the money in the manhole repairs line item.
Correct.
Okay. Well, that's always a good thing. Okay, is there any more discussion? Okay, I'll go ahead and call the vote. Chris? Hey, Chris, you out there?
Yes. Yeah, I'm here. Yes.
Jana?
Yes.
Louis?
Yes.
Art?
Yes.
And I vote yes too. Okay, keep going.
Once you didn't hear me.
So Herb, can
Sorry to interrupt again. Could I get the who made the motion in second? I somehow missed that.
I made the motion. Art,
and yeah, and
Louis
Art,
second.
yeah, and Louis seconded it.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Herb, number D.
All right, D. From the review of the tapes, we've gone back through the plans as well as the tapes. We've
Hold on a
visited
moment.
with.
Somebody's got the TV on in the background. Can you go on mute, please? Thank you. Keep going, Herb.
All right. At the end of the day, what we have are two service saddles that are cracked on the 16-inch wastewater line that is within Brighton Bend. They're two different locations. That pipe itself is approximately 16 feet deep. And then over at the end Rathland Drive by London Lane, there's a section of pipe that is cracked at the top. There's no discharge at this point, but it's a ductile iron pipe, and that's going to have to be repaired. We went to two different contractors, actually three. The third one just did not provide a number. But the two that we received one was from Prime Spec Construction for the amount of $109,000 to address all of those repairs I just mentioned. Liberty Civil came in at a price of $178,000. You can see quite the difference there. Both of them are competent and well, more than capable of doing the project. The service saddle repairs that you've got from, I had to get a breakdown from them after the meeting. They gave me just a lump sum number from Prime Spec. Their cost to do the wastewater line repair in Rathland was $60,000. The wastewater service saddles is going to be approximately $45,000. And again, that's just because of the depth of the pipe and the amount of traffic control that has to be done. And then they've got an additional $3,500 in there for repairs for the roadway and such. So that's where their number of $109,000 comes from.
Wow.
We also talked about there are some locations that were noted in that report that were, they're really minor swags in the pipe, but we need to get those things cleaned out a little bit better. When the TV crew comes in, they give a cursory jet cleaning of the lines so that you can see structurally the pipe. Their main concern is not going in and doing anything where you've got a deep swell of the pipe. These are not so much restricting flow to the fact that we're plugging the pipe, but we need to get the solids out of those locations and be able to address those. And then there's also a couple of services that showed roots within the service connections into the main. Those roots need to be removed, and it was deemed that type of work could be done by Inframark. Their crews can handle that work. Cleaning of the roots may involve more than likely going down to the lift station and cleaning out what ends up down at the lift station at your endpoints. At that point of discussion, we were guesstimating this to be $23,000 for Inframark. I believe they've had an opportunity now to really go back and finalize their number. Mackenzie, do you have that available? I think it was in the packet, actually.
So we can do one of two things here. Part of my report, I have a presentation on the additional lines that Herb was just mentioning that do need repairs and those more minor repairs with pictures and a little bit more detail. I can either pull that up for you now so we can approve this all at once and give you our updated amount, which is not going to be $23,000. It'll be around $34,000. And then we can just do this all at once and I can then skip over that during my report, or we can review that during my report. What would y'all like to do?
Well, let's do it all at once.
Well, let me, Catherine, if I can interrupt procedurally. Herb, on the repairs, you just went out and solicited bids. You didn't go out for competitive bids, published bids?
We did not publish the work because it's maintenance.
Well, it's repairs.
Okay.
Yeah, so a contract in that amount for repairs needs to go out to competitive bid. We're having an outside company look at it. And so I'm going to recommend against considering that tonight. As far as the work that Inframark might do, that is not actually repairs, correct? That's cleaning out roots, jetting. They're not going to repair any lines, are they?
No.
Okay. So on the Inframark, that is true service, maintenance, cleaning the lines. It's not a repair. It's not new construction. So that one would not require competitive bids. Have you gone out and gotten any other quotes from anybody but Infomark?
Not for that work.
Okay. Would there be other companies that could do it?
Yeah, I mean, any of these companies that we visited, that we solicited would be able to do that.
Okay. So even though it's not legally required, the board might consider about maybe soliciting some other bids to make sure the Infomark number is a good number.
Okay, and Bill, just for clarification, what's the difference between maintenance and repairs?
Right. So when you're coming in and you're replacing cracked lines, you're replacing parts of the system, and you're not just cleaning out the system or the regular maintenance that rises to the level of repairs. So new installation of facilities, repairs, new construction, all that needs to go out to competitive bid. Just maintaining the system, the regular maintenance is not under that category. Plus we have a contract with Infomark to do a lot of work. So you don't have to, it's not legally required. You bid the work that Infomark does under their contract, but this looks like this is maybe a significant special task.
Okay, so it sounds like we're going to have to go out. We're going to have to publish and go out for bid. Are we going to? How long does that take?
Yes, to do an RFP, right?
Yeah, it takes time and it's expensive. Herb can tell you the procedure.
Yeah, I would say you're looking at, with the holidays coming up and everything else, we're probably looking at December before we could bring proposals back for consideration.
Okay. Okay, well, I guess that's what we're going to have to do then. And then Mackenzie, but it also, Mackenzie, I don't have a problem with you making your presentation when you're giving your manager's report, but we'll go ahead and solicit proposals for that at the same time then. Does anybody else have any disagreement with that?
I just want to clarify for everybody listening. So we're going to do two bids, right? One for the repairs and one for the clean out, correct?
That was my understanding.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
No action there. We'll bring this back. We'll bring this back in December.
Okay.
Under the section 2 GEI items, the infrastructure is requested we go out and get additional proposals together for the sidewalk extension. And that would be connecting the Sunchase Boulevard into the Madeline Loop Pond back at the back. We'll look at those limits, and based on that previous discussion, this may have to go out for bid as well. I'll have to visit with Bill separately to make sure I'm on page with that. The Hats Pond lift station rehabilitation, we've done some work on this. We have not been able, we're still gathering a few more pieces of information in order to even be able to provide a proposal to do this work, but that entails work to get to that stage. We've met with Infomark at the site. We've gone through the existing plans as well as the maintenance reports. It looks to me like there was a initial discussion was looking at this and doing a comparison based on the amount of maintenance that's been done over the past 5 years in order to, and then also look at removing and constructing a new lift station at that location. Based on the initial summary of what we've looked at so far to date, I would say that we're putting together the proposal in order just to do some initial, mostly electrical upgrades out there. But we need to still do a little bit more research in order to provide you with that in order to wrap that one up. So our hopes is that at the November meeting, we'll have your proposal in the direction of recommendation from that. So at this time, there's no action necessary for that. And then the invoicing was reviewed and approved, and unless you've got any comments.
Okay, well, I'm going to just remind you that we had somebody who was asking about the location of Old Mill and Robbie Lane. And I guess Lewis was saying he thought it was the bridge over the.
Drainage channel. I know, yes, I have that location written down, and I'll have that added to the infrastructure for next month.
Okay.
Along with an assessment of it.
Okay, so well, I've got your attention. Then I'm going to ask about the sidewalk repairs at Tierra Blanco Cove. You know, there's about a 6-inch issue there.
Yes.
And what it's a new budget year, so what's the stat? What did we think we were going to try to do with at that location?
At Tierra Blanca Cove and Tierra Blanca, we've met with the county about the possibility of just doing a bike lane across the front of that lot, essentially, to provide an alternate access around that step. The county said no to that. The county is taking the position that if we do anything, we're going to need to probably just pull that sidewalk and do a plate bridge type construction across that. And we just need to get into further discussions about how the district would like to address that.
Okay. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by a plate.
Well, a lot of times, and you go in and you remove, or it's an option in some locations, you remove the concrete sidewalk over an extended period of distance, and then you come back with a steel plate, and which essentially it's the same thing as doing a concrete, where we've done through the district, where we come up and over the tree roots and form up and make basically a bridge. And you do the same, you can either do it with concrete or you can do it with steel.
Okay.
But once we start tearing into that, there's a lot of other issues that are going to be involved, of which we've discussed in the past. But we'll have to just go into greater detail, I think, within the infrastructure.
Got it. Okay. Okay, I'm just making sure that it's not falling off the radar.
It has not.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so is that it then? From you, Herb?
That is all I've got, unless you've got any other questions.
Nope. So we've got nothing to discuss about 6B with street light maintenance, repair and replacement, etc. Agenda item 6C, review of projects for possible bond issue.
No, there's nothing there on that.
Okay. So agenda item 7, report from the district's landscape contractor. Do we have anybody from Sunscapes with us?
Nope.
Okay. Agenda item 8, report on security patrols. And I think we still have Robert Tiria here. Oh, there we are, Robert. What do you have to say?
Hello, everybody. Just that school is back in. The deputies have been have been in the school zones. Everything they reported is that it's going pretty well. They've been meeting with the crossing guards, and everything seems to be going okay. I just wanted to also reiterate to everybody that just continue to make sure that you're locking the doors at night. We don't have any more reports of from what I know right now in reference to any new burglaries and things like that have occurred. We've spent a lot of time in the areas even at night. So there's just remember, folks, just to lock your doors and make sure that you take your valuables and take them inside, just to make just to be sure. I mean, and it's easy for everybody to forget. I mean, I forgot
especially your handguns and your
yes,
garage door openers.
Yeah, that's correct. You know, I would be extremely, extremely cautious with that stuff. You know, I mean, I would just be careful. You know, put that stuff up, secure it, and you know, like most folks know that they need to do, and just to make sure that it's kind of taken care of. So other than that, Catherine, we're patrolling the neighborhoods, and we're getting out and talking to folks, and if give us a call at the office in case you need something. Or send us an email, that too. So.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Robert. Catherine and I want to have a meeting set up a security meeting with you probably in the next week. Okay.
That'll be fine.
Okay.
Just go ahead
Thanks.
and just reach out to me, and we'll get together.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Kevin can come too if he wants to.
That'd be fine. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Bye. Bye-bye.
Okay, agenda item 9, report from the district managers. Woohoo! Who's going first?
All right, so as Herb stated, we are at 99% accounted for this month. As far as collection system goes, we did meet with Gray Engineering and discuss those collection line repairs. Some things to report from the Parks Committee side is the lights at 620 and El Salito have been installed and they do look very good. I do have some pictures that I will run through down below once we get through this executive summary. The fans at Anderson Mill West Pavilion have been installed, pictures attached of those as well. The benches at the tennis courts, both Lakeline and Anderson Mill, have been installed. The holiday lights are currently in the process of being installed. They have started them. They are nowhere near done, I don't believe. We did have a small irrigation leak that was discovered in Anderson Mill West Park by your tech. We notified Sunscapes and they sent out their irrigation tech to get this checked out, and then came back the following day and repaired it. At that time too, I did want to report that we also had an issue with the irrigation running in Anderson Mill West Park. So they reported that the timer had some issues wrong with it in the box. So they may have since made those repairs. The Playscapes equipment Playscapes and equipment, my apologies, were sanitized on 9/25. And the team that did it did a great job. I have some before and after pictures that they did provide to us. We didn't have to even ask, but I had planned to. We had a small crew replace all of the tennis and basketball court lights that were currently out, and all lights have been repaired. And then we have the approval for the district lights, and we'll get to that once we can look at that invoice. The infrastructure committee, during meter reads on 10/15, there was a district side leak detected at 929 Woodridge. We sent out a crew on 10/16 and had that leak repaired. It was a pinhole sized leak in the line, but it was a significant leak. The infrastructure committee met on 10/15 and the committee was making their recommendation to amend the previously approved collection line repair amount, which we've kind of already been through that. As far as the information committee goes, we do not have anything to report, and same with solid waste committee, though we will be getting together soon just to review. Customer care committee, this is something I wanted to bring to the board. I did speak with Bill briefly on this and kind of came to this conclusion to bring it to you guys to see if we can get some clarification here. We came across an address that's vacant with usage. The address is 3210 Blazing Star. There is no account on file, and we have seen the usage continue to rise. It's not a significant usage, it's a normal residential usage. We've tagged this address on 3 separate occasions. All of these tags have been stating dates of which we would like them to contact us to set up an account. We have not heard back from them thus far. They have not reached out to our customer service department to set up an account. We just need some guidance on where you would like to go from here. This has been about a half a month, 3/4 of a month now that this has been going on. So it's been over a decent amount of time, and I think we've tagged them at least once a week for three, almost 4 weeks.
Okay, so the house is actually vacant, or there's people living in the house and they haven't set up service?
Marked as vacant. So basically that means at one point in time, we were instructed by whoever held a previous account there that they were moving out. So we don't have record of the current residents that are staying in this home that have purchased it or renting it.
Okay, well, I can tell you this, that when I moved into my house, in 1996, I was slow in setting up service and I got my water turned off. So I guess we need to red tag them and didn't turn the water off. I mean, either nobody's in the house but somebody's figuring out how to, use the hose, or the people just said, hey, I'm not going to set up service. I'm just going to turn the water on. So how long is the house, was the last account turned off?
That I do not know. I don't think it was a very long period of time, maybe over several months, but we did have that notification come through and we did go out and do a last check. So we know what the last read was prior to this resident moving in.
Okay. Bill, am I out of step in terms of what the policies and procedures are here?
Well, I think we need to have a motion, and the reason being is we still have a moratorium on cutoffs. We've given you some extra authority in a separate decision in certain categories. We've talked about that before. But I think that this is a person who doesn't have an account with the district. They haven't signed a service agreement.
Yes.
So they're not actually a true customer. But I would recommend we have a motion on this particular address to go ahead and allow Infomark to proceed with the process of tagging it and disconnection. And I'm assuming the owner will come in and sign a service agreement after that occurs.
Right. That's my expectation also. Okay, I'll go ahead and I move that we go ahead and cut the service, red tag, and cut the service at 3210 Blazing Star. Because we anticipate that because nobody lives at that address, and so there should be no water usage at that address.
Yeah, just a minor correction.
Sure.
There probably is somebody living at the address, but they have not signed a service agreement, so they don't have an account.
Okay, let me restate it then. I move that we cut service at 3210 Blazing Star because there's no active service account at that location. Is that better?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Can I get a second, please?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, thank you, Luis. Okay, is there any discussion about this? So let's go back and reiterate. Yes, we're not cutting people off, excuse me, for non-payment, but this is a situation where we don't have a service at this location, and we've got water being used. So, anybody have anything to add to the discussion?
No.
Okay. I'll go ahead and call the vote. Chris?
Yes.
Jana? Jana? Louis?
Yes.
Art?
Yes.
I vote yes. Okay. Okay, keep going, Mackenzie.
So for this month, total number of accounts billed was 1928. Total gallons consumed was 21,719. Average water use for accounts billed was 11,265, and our total receivables was 288,952. And here is the chart just representing that. Again, here's your collections report. We did have delinquent letters mailed out, and that count was 153. We did not hang any tags for this, and we did not do any disconnects for non-payment. This is your water accountability report showing you at 99%. And then here are the pictures to support the things reported in the Parks Committee update. So here's those 620 and El Solito in-ground lights that were installed by M&C Electric. This is the area where they were installed.
That looks very nice.
They do look really good.
Very nice.
And
so hopefully nobody's will run into our sign at the entrance now.
Or run over the lights, hopefully.
Yeah, that.
So here are the fans that they installed at the pavilion.
Those fans are wonderful.
Great. Oh. Here is just one of the benches. I didn't want to take a picture of all 8 of them. And then this is the before and after pictures provided to you from ATX Soft Wash that did the park cleanings, and they did a great job of getting the parks clean. There's pretty much no residue left on any of the playscape equipment. You can see here the grading was very gross underneath, and it looks great here.
Oh, wow, looks brand new.
Here you got a lot of messing and just nastiness up here, and it looks great over here.
And how much did this cost?
I want to say it was around $1,000 for all of them.
For all the parks?
Yes, for all playscape equipment, including Hatch, Anderson Mill West, Lakeline Oaks, Astor Pass Park, Valente Hills, I think.
I guess what this really shows is the playscapes are no different than our cement walls. They need to be washed every few years.
Yeah, absolutely.
So so write this down. Let's put this in the budget for 2023.
All righty, I have my note.
Okay.
All right, so moving on here. This is my presentation for the collection line repairs that would be handled by Inframark. So this is just a little bit of a breakdown of the scope of work that would take place. These line segments over here won't mean very much to you, but we have identified them with the location. And I do want to thank Herb for his help on this, because he did help a lot with the working with Inframark and preparing the reports and the work that would be needed between him and Robert, our maintenance supervisor. So over here, you'll have a description of the work, and then over here, a price for what we are offering. I do want to note that these 9,000s seem high. I highballed these simply because these are the two that you heard Herb note saying that we would have to possibly clean the lift stations due to the roots needing to be jetted. So these could be significantly lower by $5,000 each, depending on if the lift station even needs to be cleaned or not. But that just being said, I wanted to clarify why those seemed a bit high. And then this one, due to the fact that it's going to be an excavate to remove this pipe, you'll get to see a picture of it in just a little bit. You'll understand why this one's a little high too. So here's that first one, Plum Creek Lane. You're going to excavate the road to clean out roots and cap the 2 wastewater services and jet the main line. Here are 2 pictures that we did get from your televising report, where we were able to identify the repairs that are needed.
Ooh.
You can see how pretty rough that buildup is. And then this is the second one, 1412 Mulberry Way. Excavate the roadway, clean out the roots from the service. So here you can clearly see those roots coming in. And obviously here.
Wow.
Hatch Road and El Salito. So this is where we have a pretty significant sag, and that's why you can see the camera is going through water here. That's where this sag is identified. It goes through here, and then the camera drops down. That's what the second picture is. And again, jetting the main line. Again, you can notate there's a sag here as well, being that it's the way that the camera was angled and the pictures taken. You'll understand that you can't see it very well, but there are deposits along the wall here that will also need to be cleaned up in this jetting. And then again, you'll see here where it's that the water's across it. That's due to a sag. And then here is the polybutylene pipe that's in here. We're not entirely sure how this ended up in the line, but this could be a huge hazard, and it is something that needs to be taken out. So this is
weird.
Yeah, this one is the one that's a little bit large in the budget, because we would have to excavate the road to get this out.
Okay, so basically somebody put some trash in the
Somebody had some work done, and whoever their plumber was shoved something down the line.
Oh
And
my
then
gosh.
That's what my assumption is. And I think Herb had the same, and so did Robert, our maintenance supervisor.
I mean, couldn't this literally cause a backup? I mean, if you had a really big event.
Correct. And if this pipe was any bigger too, it would be an even bigger issue as far as diameter of the blue pipe.
Yeah. Well, before you were around, Mackenzie, we had, a flooding event, and one of the things that we realized was we had all of this debris that was ended up in the at a channel, and so the water couldn't get out because there were these huge rocks in the system, and somebody's house actually got flooded as a result. So
Urgent to get that pipe in there. My goodness.
Yeah.
And here's 2613 rainfall. So this is a terrible picture, and it's not going to make a whole lot of sense, but this is a sag in the line, and you can see where they notated it here. And then again, here is Old Mill and Madeline Loop, and this is another sag. typically when you see these kinds of pictures, it's because the camera falls face down and it can't stay like vertical with the pipe. That's how a sag is identified. And then Robbie Lane and Madeline Loop, again, just another sag. When you have water standing in the line, it's a good identifier that there is a sag. And that is it for that report. Here, I would like to provide some clarification. This invoice is something that we are not requesting full payment for, and I do want to notate that the number I have reported in my executive summary is incorrect. I did some poor math. We are asking from the Parks Committee standpoint for the board to, or from the Parks Committee to make a recommendation to approve the amount of $2,892.84. That is half of this $5,785.67. They are currently, Shine themselves, in the process of updating this invoice fully to update not only this information of who it was sold to due to this being outdated information. I would like to know that this is not done by Megan Duda, this was done by us. Shine just had outdated information that I was not aware of at the time. So they're in the process of providing us a new invoice that all of this information will change, as well as the service location, because we want this to say 1000 Old Mill. Now, that being said, you'll notice these two lines here, they went in and did some inventory of what you currently have, what's outdated, what doesn't work anymore. And this is what they came back with as far as things that need to be replaced that you currently use during your holiday season. And then this is the standard $5,000 charge that you've been charged in the past for the work to be done. And I would also like to note that this tax is coming off as well because we have submitted your tax exempt form to them. So that being said, the Parks Committee would like to ask the board to approve, or a recommendation to approve $2,892.84, which would be half of this invoice. And the reason it's half is because this work has not been complete or done yet. And they require a half deposit up front, and that's standard thing that they have done for years past.
Okay, so give me the number again.
It's $2,892.84.
Okay. Well, I saw that the lights are up at 1000 Old Mill.
Yes, they're slowly rolling through it. So when we were approached with this, they basically told us, due to the fact that they have lost many employees due to COVID, they had very limited dates on when they could fit in districts, and they wanted to catch the people that they do annually, almost on an annual basis every year. So they contacted us and asked us if we would like to go ahead and get you on the schedule. And the only date that they had available for the rest of the year was October 13th.
Okay.
So we went ahead and jumped on it just to make sure you guys could get your lights done this year and we wouldn't have any hiccups with that.
Okay. Okay, so you want a recommendation for, so I moved that we approve $2,892.84, which is 50% of the Shine invoice for lighting up our parks.
And I'll second that.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Okay, I'm not hearing anything, so I'll go ahead and call the vote. Chris? Jana?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Art?
Yes.
And I vote yes too. Hey, Chris, you still there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
No, say yes.
Yes. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Hello?
Okay. Okay, keep going, Mackenzie.
Okay, so that pretty much concludes my report. Something I did want to notate too, in this collection line review, this amount adds up to a little less than 34,000. So Infomark is asking, we will solicit other bids for this as well, so that way you have some to choose from for our portion of the work that we would be doing. This 34,000 is a small buffer area for us. I think a couple $1,000 just in case we run into any issues. But that being said, that concludes my report. Unless you guys have any questions.
Nope, I don't have any. Does anybody else have any questions that they wanted to discuss?
I want to compliment Mackenzie. When Patricia left us, we thought we'd never see anyone that would even compare to her. Mackenzie excels beyond that.
Yes, I agree. She does a really fabulous job. Okay, Michael, I think you're up.
Yes, I am. So let me share the financials, assuming I can find them. Oh, of course, it's the one that's hiding. Excellent. Okay, there we go. Let me know when you can see the front page of the financials.
Yep, I see it.
Okay, good. So let's move on to page 2. This is just the calendar. Worth noting that we've updated it to the new fiscal year. Feel free, if you got anything that you want put on the calendar, we can easily update this at any time. Okay, so the tax collection report, we're over 97% collected, which is short of the 99% that we typically see. The financial impact of that, let me grow this a little bit, is that you shortfalled by about 17,000. Overall, though, in terms of revenues, you're 200,000 better than budget. 227,000 of that is water and sewer revenue. In terms of the expenses, you're about 130,000 under budget on the water and sewer purchases. And then moving down, overall, all expenses, you're about 390,000 under budget. And so the net impact to the district is that you're 590-some thousand better than budget. The biggest bulk of that is the combination of the water and sewer revenue being higher and the expenses being lower. That's a net impact of about 354,000 out of that 591, something like that. So in that core aspect of what the MUD's here for, the district is exceeding budget by a good margin. Let me shrink this a little. This is the budget comparison by month shown graphically. Let me grow this. There we go. This is the tracking of the maintenance cap with Infomark. You pay a regular monthly amount for maintenance. That's part of one of the invoices that you pay each month. And then the expenses during the course of the year are tracked against that. That gives you a nice even flow of your payments across the year. But of course, that does mean we need to true up at the end of the year. Here in September, right now it's showing that you'll owe Infomark back 7,000. We've done about 7,000 more in the cap expenses than the prepaids that you were making. This isn't guaranteed. I'm not cutting a check for this. Don't have you anything to approve this month. As we clear up for the audit, there may be a few additional items that need to be charged against the cap or adjustments made one way or the other. And once this is finalized, we'll let you know the status. But it's a reasonable expectation that it'll be somewhere near this number.
Okay, so let me ask some questions. Is one can look at this sort of like the escrows on your mortgage that you have your true up. So are you recommending that we make some sort of adjustment in terms of what our monthly expense should be, or we just stay the way we are and we'll true up again next year?
That would really be a Christie question about whether the expectation is that the cap needs to go up or not. This is a pretty low variance, so from the accounting side, I don't think that there's any need. But there may be issues that are anticipated on the operations side, and so Christie or Mackenzie may be able to speak to that.
President Frankie, this is Christie. Let me address that question. So we will have one more month. We'll have the final number for you for the year ending September next month. So that true up, the check, whether you're writing us a check or we're writing you a check, will happen at the next board meeting. And then the budget that you guys approved last month, we'll need to amend our maintenance cap for the contract to include that number in your current fiscal year. So that amendment will change, and the cap total, as you can see here, is 64,78,67 per month. That will change to what you approved in your budget for this upcoming year that we're in now.
Got it. Okay.
All right. So moving on, there's really nothing to note on the balance sheets. On the cash report, it's always, feels good to know that you've got 2.4 million in your operating fund, over 195,000 in debt service, which means that when you already have all the funds that you need to make your March bond payment, and you would still have over 179,000 left. Obviously, in the interim, before that March payment, you'll be receiving your tax money, the bulk of it coming in December and January. So you'll be in position to make both the March bond payment and the September bond payments. But that's the position you're in right now. In terms of the investments, worth noting, the CD continues to plug along. That 0.42 rate looks better and better every month. The text pool rate's down to 0.1747 was the average last month. And the last I'd looked, it actually declined a little bit from that. So you're getting a 2 1/3 times the rate. Again, it's not a large amount of money, but any amount that you earn in additional interest is that much less that your taxpayers have to pay.
Wow. That really
moving
is a
on.
horrible amount.
Yeah. Notice I didn't mention the $137 because, it's not very big, but it is what it is. So the cash balance, the trend report just shows graphically how you're doing. The blue line is the operating fund. The black line is your 6-month reserve. And this is, there's nothing unusual about this pattern. This is exactly what you expect to see, that as tax collections come in December and January, you spike up. Then the rest of the year, you draw down and get close to the reserve, but still above it. And we expect that that'll be the case again here as we get into the new fiscal year. The green line is debt service, and that's just money comes in, and then you make a big bond payment, and it drops. Again, that's exactly what you expect to see. Lewis's report about the operating fund balance, we projected to end the year at about 2 million. And the report shows that we're ending at about 2.4. So obviously significantly better than budget. And that mostly ties to the bottom line that I was showing, that you were about 591,000 better than budget. So you moved forward. That's where most of this is coming from. Then in terms of the checks, we do have a couple of things to comment. The subcommittee wanted us to hold the Shine check 4246, which is a good thing since the
number was wrong.
Yeah, the amount needs to be changed. So that check will need to be voided, and we'll need to issue a replacement check. And Mackenzie wanted to verify whether we need that now, or are we waiting until the work's complete on that second payment? Well, I'll ask that question again in a second. But the other check that we were holding is for the insurance, which is with TML.
Yeah, TML.
Check 4249. Right. And did you want to go ahead?
Well, I was going to say, we're not happy with our insurance with TML right now.
That's why we held it.
Yeah.
Because we want more information from other companies.
Hey, Michael, can you explain that we might get not a refund, but what do you call it?
Retroactive or something? What was it?
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility that if you decide to change insurance companies, you could be, a TML would prorate the portion of the period that they were covering. I mean,
Right.
that's a possibility. I'm not guaranteeing that. So if
Well,
it's,
yeah.
you know,
You cancel the coverage, then they're going to refund the unearned portion of it. Mackenzie, write down the Texas Association of Counties, and we need to contact them and ask them to give us a quote. I'm hoping that they've got better liability coverage than what TML is offering us.
And Catherine, what we're dealing with here is that we discovered that our officers and directors coverage does not cover some things that officers or directors are likely to do in the course of their activities.
Exactly.
And I am the person that got dinged on that we all thought that my activity as a director, where I made a statement at a board meeting that the Ethics Commission is questioning, that should have been covered by the insurance, and it wasn't. So the MUD had to cover it. And I would also note that the issue before the Ethics Commission is not one of corruption. It's whether or not I said something at a board meeting that violated the election code. We don't think that I did. Our lawyer doesn't think that I did. But if MUD cannot defend its directors in situations like this, then we're going to have people that don't want to serve as directors because you're vulnerable to personal liability for acts that you undertake as a director. So we need to get better coverage to prevent that from happening.
I agree. I totally agree.
So I spoke with Mackenzie about that today, and she's looking at some different things with Christy.
Okay.
Some different companies.
Yes.
Okay.
The other MUDs have. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. And other than that, those were the two items that the subcommittee felt that we needed to hold. And obviously the Shine, legitimately, the amount that we had was incorrect. And then this concern about the insurance wanting to move forward, perhaps in another direction. So let me continue on down and note that we did pay a deposit for half of the base fee from Shine of $2,500 out of the manager's account. So that has already been paid. That's why we were talking about a net amount on the Shine. So the amount here that says $382,841.19 needs to be amended by the $32,8567 for Shine and the $12,593.86 for the TML. So the amount that is for approval here is $366,962.66. That doesn't include the second payment to Shine. And again, I'm quickly asking Mackenzie if that check needs to be cut now, or if that can wait, or if we can cut that out of the manager's check between meetings.
Wait on that one until it's completely done.
Oh, we couldn't hear you, honey.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I was gonna say, we'll wait on that one until the work is completely done, even if that means it's gonna come up at the November meeting. They'll just have to wait.
All right, so that makes the amount $366,962.66.
Okay.
I move the payment of $366,962.66 as outlined by our wonderful Michael.
And I'll second.
Okay. So is there any discussion? Okay. I'll go ahead and call the vote. Chris?
Yes.
Jana?
Yes.
Louis?
Yes.
Art?
Yes.
And I say yes too. Keep going, Michael.
All right. So then we have our transfer to cover the checks this month, 128,000. And then we have our regular monthly open records requests. It was the lowest amount since March, or actually even lower than March. So the lowest amount this fiscal year 148,000 plus additional expenses that aren't direct, that other people may be incurring. So.
Okay.
Okay, and then the authorized not to exceed, there's no changes on these from last month. So no activity on these, though. Since then, we did get the lighted baller work done, and the benches at the tennis courts. They're both done now here in fiscal year 21 in October. So, and that's all I had. Any questions?
No.
Then I will.
Catherine, before
Yes.
Michael finishes, we added to the item 9, subsection R on delinquent property taxes. And you and I
Yes.
talked about this process.
Yes.
This probably would be appropriate time to discuss it.
Right. Okay. So just to bring everybody up, I went to a Williamson County website, and they just published, as a matter of fact, a listing of all the delinquent taxpayers in the county. And so I sent that off to Bill, and I sent it off to Infomark, because we are short 2% this year for the first time in a very long time, and I wanted to have a discussion about what should be our policies and procedures for when we have landlords who are collecting rent and then not paying the property taxes, and then 2, when we have residents who aren't paying their property taxes. We have one resident who hasn't paid their taxes since 2007, which really surprised me that we had somebody that had gone that long without paying their property taxes. So I'm going to turn this back over to you, Bill, so that you can give them other arching in terms of what we have to do, what our options are.
Yeah. Okay. So state law and our rate order provides that if the property taxes are more than 6 months delinquent or longer, then the unpaid taxes and other charges associated with it can be placed on the customer's bill for water service. And if they don't pay by the date the bill's due, then we can collect them just like any other service, and we can terminate service if we have to. And the provision really only works for customers' accounts. That doesn't work so good for landlords that might be renting. So, but before we proceed with that and go through the process, we need to check with the county, in this case, Williamson County, because they collect your taxes. They may have put some of these people on payment plans. Some of them might be in litigation or collection process. So we need to know what the county's doing on them so we don't interfere with that process somehow. That doesn't mean that we couldn't independently proceed if they're not. But what I would recommend is that we generate the list and then consult Williamson County on what they're doing. And then if it looks like it's appropriate, go ahead and start putting these amounts on customers' bills.
Okay. And we need to also then, get the same list from Travis County. It doesn't look like they made it available on the website the way Williamson County did when I went looking for it.
Yeah, there's a process for that. We can request it as a district for which they collect taxes. We're contracting with them, so they can generate that list for us. You don't have to get it off the website.
Right. Well, the question I have, and you might not know the answer to this. They have some. Let's walk through the process where they have somebody on a payment plan to get their taxes. Are they forwarding, portions every month, or they just wait until it's all collected and then they cut everybody one check? Do you have any idea how that works?
I'm pretty sure it'll be distributed as paid.
Okay.
Catherine, are you asking whether when the county is collecting on a payment plan, whether they pay the district as they receive it? Is that the question? Yeah, and the answer to the degree I know it is yes. We see that quite often. You can see payments being made regularly across the payment. That looks like a payment plan.
Okay. Okay. So do we need to take any action now, other in terms of, you know, passing a resolution or a directive to Infomark? I know I've asked before, we need to go back to, I guess we need to do an official request to both Williamson and Travis counties of the delinquent taxes by address.
Right, so I think a directive would be in order for me to work with Infomark to proceed to identify those owners who haven't paid taxes, figure out what the county's doing for both counties, and then go ahead and report back to the board. I would say maybe report back to the next board meeting before we put them on the bill, so we could generate a list that the board could approve.
And yeah, and I would say that would be November, you know, not next week.
Yeah, not the special meeting.
Yeah. Okay, so can I just give you guys a directive? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, unless any board member has an objection, I think that's fine.
Okay. Well, then Bill, please, you and Infomark work together to try to identify the delinquent taxpayers so that we can come up with a resolution to find out how to collect our taxes, especially the chronically old prior years.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be happy to do that.
Okay. Okay. Is there
Frankie? This is Christy.
Yes.
Can I request that we move down to agenda item 29 and 30, the Infomark contract amendment?
Sure.
Since we're on manager's report and Infomark report.
Sure. 29. Okay. You want to jump to 29?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 29, agenda item 29, First Amendment to the Operation and Maintenance Agreement between the district and Infomark. Okay, did you have something that you wanted to start off the discussion, Christy?
Yes, I met with the committee, and just to give you just a summary, what we are looking for is an amendment to our contract to pull the accounting services out of our operations and maintenance contract, which, if you recall, before we did the amendment a couple of years ago, we had a separate contract for accounting. When we did the amendment, we included it all together. So what we're looking for is to move this accounting services scope out of the operations and maintenance into a contract of its own.
Okay.
I'll give you some background on that. Michael is now working under a different department inside of Infomark, and the department that he is currently working under has a staff of 25 plus people that can help and support him in the accounting functions, rather than having 4 or 5 people that we currently have now. So there is no change in the budget numbers. So it's an even swap. So we're taking $2,500 out of the operations and maintenance contract, and we're moving that $2,500 to the accounting contract. So there is no additional funds that we're asking for. It's the same amount of money. It's just moving from one bucket to the other. So I would not ask for approval this afternoon. I believe there's some negotiations that we need to do, our attorneys with Bill Flickinger, the district attorney. So just to be clear, there's no additional funds that I'm asking for the board to approve here. It's just specifically moving the accounting scope out of the operations contract into a separate contract on its own.
Okay. And so the annual compensation for the for accounting is turning out to be what then?
It's $2,500, and that's based off of your current contract and 30% of an accountant in your district.
Okay. Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you believe that that is a sufficient amount of time and materials?
I do. I can talk more to that when we go into the next board meeting, but I have the backup that gives you the 30% of that particular person that's in your contract now.
Okay, so so you don't perceive that you're gonna be coming back and saying that's not enough money. You're just saying it just makes sense for this to, because of the way our organization is configured, that it is in a separate contract.
Absolutely. There is no change in the total amount, so it's just making it a step.
Okay.
So there's no increase in the contract like was stated earlier.
No.
Contract to go to a different department.
Catherine, what the intent is, I talked to Christy before the meeting, and the fairly simple amendment to the main contract, I think we can address that pretty quickly. But the contract for bookkeeping services has some different conditions different than the main contract that I wanted to go through with her and her attorney in the committee, and we're hopeful we can have that worked out and have a final version for the special meeting next week.
Oh, okay.
That would be our attempt. We just couldn't do it for today. It's too much.
Okay. So then for agenda item 29, there really isn't any action. Am I correct tonight?
Yeah, 29 and 30, we're recommending no action tonight.
Okay.
We'll try to address it at the special meeting.
Okay.
Do you agree, Christy, with that?
I do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so we're done then with 29 and 30. Am I right?
Yes,
you are correct. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so agenda item 10, prior and pending open records request, costs incurred by the district and allowable costs charged to the person. Agenda item 10.
Let me address this quickly.
You're going to share a screen there, Bill?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you see that chart?
Not yet.
No.
Nope.
Okay, hold on. All right. Not sure what happened. Apologize. I thought I had the shared screen up. This is, you can still hear me, right?
Right.
Okay. So this was agenda item 10 in your invite. This is just our chart that we do every month on open records requests. The first page is the pending requests, and then the third sheet lists a number of requests that have been deemed withdrawn. And the reasons for them being withdrawn are based upon the rules and the state laws. In some cases, we requested clarification that was not timely made. In other cases, we made a cost estimate, prepared a cost estimate that was not accepted by the requester. So under the rules, then that is, that's withdrawn. So that list, the third page, those are no longer active, but we wanted to show you what they were and how many there were.
Okay, so the ones that are active, and we've got, what do we still, we've got 10. And we got 10, it looks like, open records requests. Is it anticipated that these are going to be resolved in the next month or so? What's the status of these?
Yeah, I think that's a correct statement. Each one goes through a little different process. And, you know, some of them will receive cost estimates, some will require clarifications, but each will be processed. And, you know, I do anticipate that probably is a 30-day process to getting them done.
Okay, so, okay. Oh, MF, that's Linda's husband who's making the request now. Okay, I'm going, who is MF? Ah, am I right? MF is Matt Fobb, so that's Linda's having her husband make requests because she's, instead of her doing it. Am I right?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, is there anything more to discuss on that one?
I don't think so.
Okay, agenda item 11, the district rate order. It's a standing item. Is there anything to discuss on that one tonight, Bill?
No, and we keep it on there all the time, and tonight it was helpful because we talked about the property tax.
Okay.
If we had to make a change, we could have, but it's just standing item.
Okay, agenda item 13, the director's election. And I don't think there's any, is there anything on that one tonight? No action?
There's no board action. Procedurally, just because I know there are interested people on the line and candidates. The election's November 3rd, and probably that night, maybe the next day, you will see results. And I would caution everyone that we're in 2 counties, so sometimes you only see one county's results. So you have to add them together. So be careful if you see something on TV or online. It has to be both counties combined. But those are unofficial results that you hear, you know, on the news or you see online. The results will not be official until this board canvasses the results provided by each county. And we've been informed that Williamson County will not have their report of official results until the first day would be the 16th of November and likely the 17th. 17th is actually the last legal day to canvass returns, so we'll be cutting it really close. The 16th is your DRC meeting, so it is possible that we might do it that day. We might have to have a special meeting on the 17th. But when the results are officially canvassed, that's when the new directors will be sworn in, and upon being sworn in, they can resume or start their official duties. Also at that meeting, the board will be considering election of officers because that's mandated by state law. So that may end up being a special meeting on the 17th or part of the DRC on the 16th. But like I said, those results will not be official until this board canvasses them.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Okay, agenda item 13, resolution by the board of directors concerning removal of signs. I don't think there's any action items on that one tonight, Bill.
No, there's nothing board action on 13 or 14 tonight.
Okay. Okay, and 15, report from the Parks Committee. Okay. What do we need to discuss, Jana and Mackenzie?
Okay. Craft fair is done. Right, okay, so park plan.
We've
Oh,
pushed
the park plan, the park plan. Let me do the park plan first.
Yes, okay.
Okay, so Catherine and I met with 2 groups. One was called Verdunity and the other one was called Hitchcock. We had 3 RFPs, one from Tara Klein and the other 2 that I just mentioned. And Tara Klein was a little over our budget, and so we decided to interview these other 2. And Hitchcock is more of a landscape architect design type of firm where they do large cities and large towns, where Virginity is more of a smaller based. I don't really know how to exactly say it, but it's just more. Well, we also met with Herb in Infomark, and these guys. Okay, so both firms are wonderful. But for our district, we really think that Virginity would be the best for us because they work on a smaller scale, is what I was trying to say.
Right. Yeah.
So,
what
do you think, Catherine?
Well, yeah, I will agree with everything that you said. And one of the things that struck me was they seem to have a they were I guess you could call it a more holistic approach from the bottom up. They really are their really focuses on community engagement, and because they're smaller and they're I think that they've got a better handle on the technology tools to accomplish that.
Yes,
so
they do. And so I just wanted to remind everybody that so after talking with both of these people, with the engineer and Infomark, the Parks Committee has decided that we recommend Virginity for the 5-year park plan that will include an official MUD survey.
Okay, and I will go ahead and second that. So let's have a discussion about this. So this has been something that the Parks Committee has been working on for a couple of years. And finally, we finally got off center, and I'm actually sort of excited about the process of coming up with a long-term plan to identify areas for improvement in our community, or not just improvement, but retasking, and to figure out what's working and what's not. And as one of the questions that we asked both of the vendors when we were interviewing them, and I said, we've had people saying we're in the middle of a pandemic. Why are you planning? And one person's response was, I think that the pandemic has proven how important our parks are. And I think my personal situation has been, the pandemic has forced me to reevaluate things long term in my life. So I'm assuming that I'm not the only person out there who's going, this pandemic has changed things, made me reevaluate what's around me. So planning is what we do, and planning is what we're going to continue to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. Does any of the board members have anything to comment?
I don't have anything.
Okay.
I'll say that I'm very glad that you reached this point, because it's been a long time and there's been a lot of people involved in contributing to the effort. And we'll finally have a master plan for the parks. Very much been needed.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that we got the residents involved in the process also.
Yes.
That was the whole plan.
And the involvement is going to continue. Okay, is there any more discussion?
Yeah, I might add, Catherine, to what Chris said. Every major project we have done, every major project without exception, we have gotten the residents involved. That's what we do. And the criticism that we've seen that we don't do that is simply incorrect. We always get the neighborhood involved.
Yeah, I just to add on to what you were saying, Louis, one of the first things that was taking place when I became a board member in the spring of 2015 was community outreach events with the Hunters Glen and Lakeline Oaks, because we were doing this great big improvement project around Madeline Loop.
Yes.
And so, that's just an example of, what we do. In fact, the plan for that improvement was changed based upon the feedback from the people who came to the meetings and said, no, I don't want this. I want this instead.
That's right. And we had some situations that were amusing. We had a situation where there was a couple where the husband was totally opposed to anything being done to Madeline Loop Pond. His wife was supportive of the idea. After the Madeline Loop project was completed, he moved out of the neighborhood. He could not handle the idea that the Madeline Loop Pond was not his private enclave.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, so is there any more discussion?
I had a question, Captain. Do we have a proposed contract?
No, we don't have a proposed contract. We have an RFP that we would like to accept, and then we have to go into the contract.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Okay.
We just wanted to bring it to the board first.
Yes. Yes.
So is the RFP contain an amount, or is it just the scope?
The RFP, we had $20,000 in the budget, and I think that's pretty much what we came up with. So we're recommending a vendor who's going to work within the budgetary constraints that we've put on the project.
Catherine?
Yeah.
Did y'all do any work about what continuing maintenance costs are going to be for the plan?
No, because we don't know what we're putting, we don't know what the plan is going to be yet. And right now, all we're doing is the part of the plan is going to be identifying what those changes are going to be, and that's going to have to be part of the ongoing part of the considerations and of what we agree to, what projects we take on. And one of the things that both Jana and I and the Virginity were all in agreement was identifying the small projects that had high impact.
Right.
Low-hanging fruit.
Yes, because we all recognize that, hey, yeah, that's great. Let's spend $300,000 on playground equipment, but there's also an awful lot of small things that can be done that actually have really big impact. And it was interesting when we started talking about this in more detail when the vendor started talking about, you know, sometimes it's small things like crossing, you know, sidewalk crossings. And it's like, you know what, we just went through that the last 90 days where we had all of our crosswalks repainted and improved. And, you know, that's an example of something small that you do in your community that has a big impact.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is the concept phase, essentially.
Yes. Yeah. This is just the concept phase.
Okay.
And trying to understand what are we going to do with some of the spaces that, because we don't have a lot of space that hasn't been developed, but we have space that's being underutilized. So I think that part of what this big plan is going to be identifying retasking of small spaces that are going to have a big impact in terms of their use by the community.
Right. Like the volleyball court. Or the volleyball sand pit.
Yeah, too bad we can't turn that into a place to have a fire pit, but no, that's not a good idea. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call the vote. Jana?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Art?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
And I vote yes too. Okay, so now what, Mackenzie, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you and Bill get together and hash out the contract part of this.
And then get with the contract, the the subcommittee that does contracts after that, of course.
Yeah. Okay, what's the next thing?
The
Hang
phase
on,
3.
I did miss the motion and second on that. I apologize.
Okay, I made the motion.
I think I made the
and
motion.
You made the motion. I don't know. I seconded it then. Okay, Jana made the
Yeah.
motion. I seconded it.
Got it. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
okay.
now, okay, what else? Okay, phase 3 of opening the parks. Okay, since I just said a little while ago during the craft fair presentation, I have been looking all over town, Cedar Park and Austin, Williamson County, and the majority of all parks have their bathrooms open. Some of them still have their water drinking fountains closed. Some of them don't. It's really all whatever we want to do, if we want to leave it off or turn it back on. So I think we should go ahead and open the bathrooms at both parks.
Yes.
And notify our cleaning crew so they can make sure that they get in there and check them out, clean them before they actually open because they're probably dusty. And then we can open them, and then the pavilions can also be rented at this time. But I say we keep the community center closed for at least this month and maybe think about that next month for the holidays. You know, just because it's indoors and nobody really wants to be indoors right now.
So it's not really a high priority. Okay, so Bill, do we have to make a motion to as part of opening up our parks? Is that what we need to do?
I would recommend it, yes.
Okay. Okay, so okay, so let's outline this, Jana. So we're not going completely open. We're not talking about going completely open because we're still talking about capacity issues.
Right.
Like
and it's still going to be the COVID protocols. We're still going to have the signs up saying wear your mask, keep 6 feet apart and all that stuff.
Okay. Okay. So, and then we're going to open up our restrooms and then we're going to open up our water fountains.
Yes, unless you guys think we should wait on the water fountains. I'm okay either way.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and make your motion. I'll second it and then we'll have a discussion.
Okay. I make a motion that we go into phase 3 of opening our parks, opening the bathrooms at Lakeline Oaks, opening the bathrooms at, what did I just say? Lakeline Oaks?
And Andersonville West.
And Andersonville West. And possibly the water fountains and pavilions can now be rented.
At 50% capacity. At 50% capacity?
No, all the way, which is like 160, I think Mackenzie said.
Okay. Okay.
But you have to still stay 6 feet apart.
Okay. So, okay, I'll go ahead and second that motion so that we can discuss it. So what is the final reopening? How is that going to be different? Is that going to be when we don't have any limits on reservations and people? Is that what that's all about then?
Well, I think it's just the only thing we have left would be the community center, is people could start renting it.
Okay. So right now, so the motion is that we are going into what we're calling phase 3 of reopening, that opens the restrooms at our parks, opens the water fountains at our parks, makes our pavilions available for rental at 50% capacity.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So that's what the resolution is. Okay. So
wait,
do we have
50%? Did you say 50%?
Yeah.
No, we're going to go all the way.
Oh, it's at 100%. Okay.
Yeah.
So there,
as long as people are 6 feet apart.
Right.
What kind of restrictions are you going to impose though? You know, like.
Well, people are just going to still have to do what our signs say, wear a mask, stay 6 feet apart.
Right. So basically what we're doing is we're opening up the facilities, but people are still going to be required to use their common sense. There's hand sanitizers at the parks. Am I correct about that, Mackenzie?
Yes, they are.
Okay. And basically people are supposed to be smart about their social contact and
Right.
we're gonna let them use the facilities. You know, we're okay. So, are we gonna need to make a change to the signs?
Nope,
What,
the pavilions are not in there.
what you're
Okay.
talking about is an honor system. And we
Right.
know that there is a percentage of people who totally ignore some of these requirements, both distancing and masking. I suggest that you might want to think about the possibility that if you have a gathering that's using the facility and they are found not to respect these rules, that they be precluded from using the facility again. But that's something you all can deal with after I'm gone.
Something to think about. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have any more discussion? No. Okay, then I'll go ahead and call the vote to open up our parks to what we're calling phase 3. Chris,
Yes.
Jana,
Yes.
Louis,
Yes.
Art.
Yes, but I have one more question.
Sure.
Jana, you mentioned that you did a benchmark on other parks, correct?
Yes. Uh-huh.
And they're in the final phase too, right? They opened up all their parks.
They're pretty much, they have also opened in their community centers. So they're one step ahead of us.
Okay. I vote yes.
Okay, and I vote yes too.
Yay.
Okay.
Okay, the next thing, I'll do the next one. So Chris, are you there?
I am
Yes.
here.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay, I just want to thank Chris for all his work that he's done on the board. And this is under Parks Committee because we need, just as other board members, when they have retired after 20 years or so, recognition has been given to them in some way. We have a plaque on the wall at the pavilion at Andersonville West for Brian Harden. We have a plaque at the community center for several people that were on the board that year. And so the Parks Committee has decided, in recognition of Chris Rocco's service to WTCMUD1 for probably 20 years or so.
More.
Yes. These are some of the, he's probably been on every subcommittee. When I first started, I was on security with him. So we met every month and he helped me out a lot. He was always on investments, really good with the audit procedures,
Yes.
infrastructure, budget, contracts, DRC. He got the Andersonville West Park up and running way back when.
Yes.
He helped with the district walls, getting them up because all it was a bunch of torn down fences halfway. And when you walk through Hatch Pond, dogs would be trying to get out of their fences. It was pretty scary. Driving up and down El Solido and down Hatch, it was pretty sad looking because some had great fences and some didn't have fences. So he's done that. He's a wonderful volunteer for neighbors, not only in our MUD and our neighborhood, but also his public service is not just our MUD. It's like way beyond that. So in recognition of his service for the 20 years, the Parks Committee. Mackenzie, are you there? You ready to share your screen? The Park Committee would like to rename London Lane Pond because of the modifications that Chris Rocco did many years ago to make it a wonderful dog area where his dogs and himself go probably every day. And his dog's name are Louie and Gucci. And so we want to present this to the board for approval to rename London Lane Pond Rocco London Lane Pond.
Okay, I second that. That is a really nice looking sign there.
And what they're going to do, and if Herb's still here, he can explain it. they are just going to they're going to resurface it and add Rocco on top. And I hope she's probably still here. I hope she has the price, because
I am.
Herb, are you here?
I am. So
do you have the pricing on that one?
yeah, for the London Lane Pond, that's $490 to do the sandblasting and painting of the lettering.
Great.
Okay. So you need do we need a resolution to spend how much money?
$490.
$490 even?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Bill, how many resolutions do we need? We need one to change the name of the park and one to authorize the spending of $490.
Well, did we already have a resolution on changing the name by Jana?
Yes, we're in the process of we're in discussion right now.
Yeah. Okay, so why don't you vote on the first one, which is to change the name, and then have a second to authorize a not to exceed amount.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so we're in the discussion phase of changing the name. Do we have any comments by our board members, other board members?
Chris, do you want it to say Rocco or do you want it to say Rocco's?
Yeah, whatever y'all want. I'm really touched. I mean, it's really not necessary. I'm just so glad that it's being used how I intended it to be used. A lot of people don't have places to take their dogs where they can run like that. And it just was one of those perfect situations where people can take their dogs off leash and let them run around. Look at the size of the backyards we have. And this way they're not off leash running the neighborhood, which happened this morning with 2 dogs. So whatever y'all think is best, wish it wasn't $490, but.
Now, I think this is really nice. And you know what is if you bring that picture back up, Mackenzie, what it's really showing me is, you know what? I bet you all of our signs probably need to be power washed. It looks a little they probably all need to have a little freshening up.
Yeah, you should see Sun Chase. It looked pretty bad the other day.
Really? Oh. Rocco, London Lane Pond. Okay. Okay.
Thank y'all very much. I appreciate it. And I'm not going anywhere, so I'll be hanging around to continue volunteering. Just give me a list.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there any more discussion?
I just wanted to say something. I wanted to thank Chris for all his efforts, both for the MUD. Chris, how many years do you have with the MUD now?
It's 20 years.
20 years? Okay.
Wow.
I've worked with Chris and he's, I've never met anybody more passionate about helping our community, the MUD community. As we all know, he volunteers greatly, not outside the MUD, and helps many people who fall on hard times. I think he's a great man and a good person to know and a good person to rely on. So Chris, congratulations and thank you for all your hard work.
Thanks, everyone.
Yes.
And I'd like to say that I have worked with Chris for over 15 years. When I first moved into the community and we reorganized the neighborhood association, Chris took over as president for a while and got on the board shortly before I did, but that was his second stint on the board. And one of the things that you get with someone who's been around that long is an institutional memory that can be very helpful in guiding us as to what we're going to do. So Chris, you've done a great job and I salute you.
I agree. One of the things that I have found very helpful is that he's always had very insightful comments in terms of how to deal with situations. And I've always relied on him to look at it from a direction that I wasn't looking at it from. Okay, I'm going to call the vote. I don't know, Chris, do you think you should vote for it?
No, I think I should abstain.
Okay. Jana?
Yes.
Louis?
Yes.
Art?
Yes.
And I vote yes too. Okay, I move that we spend $490 on the sign at London Lane to reface it and rename it.
I second.
Okay. Is there any discussion on that? Okay, I'll just go ahead and call the vote. Chris, do you want to abstain?
Yes.
Okay, Jana,
Yes.
Louis,
Yes.
Art,
Yes.
and I vote yes too. Okay. What about number E? Are we ready to move on E?
So Herb, I think you might have the amount quicker than I do for that one, but I can share the sign that we're going to get this made like, and I did kind of confer with Art on this one as well. Just give me one moment. So the sign that we have decided on will look very similar to this one. It won't have the same verbiage, but it will say Sacco Field at Hatch Pond. This is just the structural.
Okay.
aspect of
Okay, so that's just the structure of the sign.
Correct. It'll be green like this, a green and white, and then the two post structure, and we're going to place it somewhere else in the pond.
Okay, so
near on the outside.
Okay, it's not going to be near the tree that he usually had his kids gather at. I take it.
If it would fit, but I think that's in the pond, so probably not.
Okay.
Yeah, that's yeah, and people can't see it.
Thing.
People can't see it from when it's over there, way over by the tree.
So is it going to be on the Hatch side or the other side?
The Hatch side.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's where they held practice. So that's why we thought it was appropriate to leave it, to put it there.
Okay. So, Herb, you had an amount for the sign?
Yes, this is a PVC special order sign. The price for this will be $875.
Okay.
Keep in mind, we budgeted about $1,500, so we're good there.
Oh, okay. Okay, so Jana, you want to make the motion?
I think Art wants to.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I make a motion to procure the sign and to honor or to memorialize Thomas Sacco at Hodge Pond for how much? $875. $875.
Okay.
I second.
Okay, so let's have some discussion. So, are we going to have? Do we have a time frame as to how long this sign's going to take?
No, I would say historically in the past, it's taken a good 30 days to get the sign from the manufacturer.
Okay, so I guess the reason I was asking the question is, could we plan like a dedication in December or something like that?
Let me get back with the Parks Committee on that after I talk to the contractor.
Okay.
Specifically about that.
And then Mackenzie, then we can go ahead and try to coordinate something, an event with Mrs. Sacco. Okay, so is there any discussion? Any more discussion, I should say? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call the vote. Chris?
Yes.
Jana?
Yes.
Louis?
Yes.
Art?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay. Jana, do we have anything left to discuss?
I spoke with Lee the other day, and she's going to order those wildflower seeds that we spread over in Cashel Wood and the wildflower pond.
Yeah, I guess that is that time of year again. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And I think Mackenzie's still looking at owl houses and the Purple Martin houses.
So for that, I think that we need to decide on how many of each we would like, and then we can come back with an amount for approval. So do y'all want to discuss how many of each?
I think we have 2 outhouses already, so maybe 5 more, and then whatever is left over, we'll do the Purple Martin houses.
Sounds good.
Is that good?
Okay. Yeah, that
Catherine?
that works. Okay, is there anything left with parks?
I don't think so.
We had a lot to discuss tonight. Okay, agenda item 16, report from the deed restriction committee. And I'm trying to think if there's anything of importance that we need to, if there's anything that we haven't gone through at the meeting on Monday.
Everything looks like it's been covered.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any board actions.
Yeah, me neither. Okay. 17, report from the investment committee.
We don't have anything.
Okay. 18, report from the audit committee.
No comment other than that now that we're finished the fiscal year, we'll be finishing up all of the work on the books and getting them to the auditor as soon as we can, having a as true and accurate a reflection of your financials as is possible.
Okay. 19, a report from the bills and invoices committee.
I don't think so. We already talked about it earlier.
Okay. I don't think we have anything to discuss about not to exceed expenditures, and we're still working on 19B bill, code of ethics and financial management, travel, etc.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, we haven't had time, but I'm gonna have to get with the committee to work on that. So.
Okay. 20, report from the budget committee.
We have nothing. We talked
Okay.
about that. We addressed everything last month.
Okay.
Right.
21, report from the customer care committee. Answers to prior questions or online posting inaccurate or misleading site names, etc. Does anybody have anything?
I would like to say a great deal, but I'm not going to say anything. It's impossible to keep up with the litany of viciousness that we heard tonight.
Yeah, there was an awful lot of, I don't know if I just say outright exaggeration to on one side to absolute pants on fire lies at the other extreme. How about that?
Hey, the Girl Scouts were amazing.
They were. I agree with that. I agree with that. Okay. Agenda item 22, video recording of boards, time stamping. Do we have anything to discuss about that? Nothing. Okay. 23, report from the information committee. Okay, the district website, we were going to make a change to the front page to talk about soliciting requests for our craft fair. What's the status of our Facebook site?
Can you answer that, Jana?
I'm sorry. I was out of the room for a second. What was that?
What's going on with the Facebook page?
Oh, let's see. I talked with Michael and they're ready to launch it whenever we are, but I think we were going to wait a little bit.
Okay. Okay. Report from the infrastructure committee. Is there anything that needs to be discussed that hasn't already been discussed?
I think we covered it all.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, 25, report from the management committee.
Well, along the same lines, we discussed the contract, the separation of the accounting services. That's the only update I have.
Okay.
We're still going to meet about the waste management contract, just make sure everything's moving along how it's supposed to.
Okay. Okay, 26th report from the Solid Waste Committee.
I just answered that.
Okay.
The reporting has come along very well. I'm very pleased with it. From both parties, from Infomark and from Sage. So I think we got an accurate picture of what's going on now.
Okay. Okay, 27, report from the Records Modernization Committee.
We haven't met this month. Maybe we'll meet next week.
Okay.
If we can get Bill in on that.
Okay. 27B, additional contract with Infomart for employee part-time about open records requests. Do we need to keep this as an ongoing agenda item?
Not for this time. I don't believe so.
Okay, so we can take it off next month's agenda?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so number 28, service provider vendor evaluations. Where are we on that, Mackenzie?
So I'm currently working on cleaning services, so that way we can possibly review those before we bring in them to start cleaning restrooms again. So I hope to have some sort of an update at the next meeting. I'm just making slow headway with it.
Okay. Okay, we've already done 29 and 30. Agenda 31, traffic hazards in the district. Do we have anything to discuss?
Not that I'm aware.
I contacted Cedar Park Police Department, and since they own Hatch Road, the majority of it, I asked them to patrol at Spider Lily and Hatch, because people run that stop sign all the time, as well at Meadowlark and Hatch. There's always people speeding. So they're going to set up a trailer, and they're also going to set up a patrol in that area.
Great.
Don't tell anybody. Let them get pulled over.
Oh, okay. Agenda item 32, amendment agreements with Williamson and Travis counties for solar speed signs, etc. Where are we on that, Bill?
We're down to one issue, which should be minor. Did Herb leave the meeting?
Well,
Herb, hey, Herb.
I'm still here.
Are you awake? Okay.
I am.
So what we're down to is the county has asked if the solar signs we have can be mounted on the 2 poles that they have available. And I think Mackenzie's been struggling trying to figure out if there are brackets available. If we can't do it on the 2 poles, then we'll have to provide a pole that is essentially a crash pole if somebody hits it. And so Allison's been trying to work with, get Herb's opinion on that, work through Mackenzie, but we need to answer that question, then we can finalize that agreement.
We can get them mounted.
On 2 poles?
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
You'll take care of that? Okay. So it looks like we'll probably be able to get it resolved quickly then. No board actions required.
Okay.
We're authorized to sign it.
Okay. Wow.
Thanks, Herb.
Agenda item 34, minutes from prior and regular special meetings.
Yeah, they're in your manager's report, the part 1 at the end.
Okay.
When you sit like that, it looks like you have a halo over your head.
I know, it's so cool, that Aurora Borealis.
I moved north while we were talking.
Sometimes when you move a little fast, you kind of disappear a little bit. Yep, there goes your ear.
Yeah. And also you can see what's really behind me if I move fast enough.
Yeah.
It's a very dramatic painting behind me.
Yes, it is. Okay, so the minutes. Comments. Okay, does anybody want to make a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make it.
Okay,
Make a motion to move to approve.
okay,
I'll second the motion.
okay. Is there any discussion?
Oh,
Okay, now go ahead and call the vote. Chris? Jana?
Vicky said yes.
yes.
Louis?
Yes.
Art?
Yes.
And I vote yes too. Okay, agenda item 35, acceptance of resignation of Directress Louis Zervigon.
Catherine, if you don't mind, I'd like to have permission to make a brief statement.
Sure.
And let me say first that when the vote is taken, I will then sign off because I will no longer be a board member, although I will continue watching. I also expect to continue to visit and participate, perhaps public comments, perhaps just watching. But what I'd like to say is that during the almost 15 years that I've been on the board, I think we have accomplished a great deal. Chris Rocco has been here through the whole ride and was very important in making many of these things happen. When I first ran for the board, I ran because there was a lack of respect of residents with respect to the way deed restrictions were enforced. When I first won, we completely rewrote the rules for enforcement. Chris helped with that we rewrote the rules to be more respectful of the residents. We then sought to have someone running deed restrictions that was accustomed to doing it for MUDs, because most restriction enforcement companies handle the HOAs, and it's a very different model. We finally have gotten with the Sagnuses a company that does what we really need. They interact with people, they talk to people, they solve problems instead of just sending letters. And as a result, they are very much loved in the community. The other thing I'd like to say is that when I first got on the board, we were facing the inevitability of Cedar Park annexing us. And we laid out a strategy to deal with that because we had money in our reserves. And if Cedar Park annexes, they would get that money. So we undertook a program to identify things that could be done by us that Cedar Park might never do, but that they would maintain. And as a result of that thought process, we increased the number of streetlights by over 50%. We went into the parks and ponds, and the ponds, which had been just like a scar on the face of the earth, now are very beautiful places with walking trails and very popular, and have increased the property values. All of this was initiated during a period when annexation was inevitable. Subsequently, in the last few years, it has become much more difficult for Cedar Park to annex us because it has to be a vote. But that introduces a whole new range of problems that you'll have to deal with. One of them I mentioned, that as we age, we may never be annexed. We're going to have to be responsible for maintaining the infrastructure. And then finally, I'd like to say that it's been a great pleasure working with the staff. Christy Hester has done a remarkable job, both in terms of her own skills, but in her ability to bring people in who are remarkably talented. I want to thank Herb Edmondson for the remarkable job he and Gray Engineers have done to guide us through this huge program that we undertook that is now nearly complete. The work that's going to be done at Madison Loop Pond will complete the projects, the multi-year projects that we started. Art has been really active with me on the infrastructure committee. And Art, I thank you for your help in making this happen. And then finally, I'd like to thank Bill Flickinger, whose calm demeanor, I'm sure, betrays some unsettlement on his part that he never shows. But he has guided us through lots of legal issues that we have to deal with. And then I'll close by saying that I had planned to serve out the rest of my term for the next 2 years. My plan had been to, after that, to retire and to move back to Louisiana. what has happened is I'm 83 years old. I'm starting to feel my age more than I did before. And my children in Louisiana have urged me to go there and write my memoirs. I lived through the civil rights movement in the 60s and 70s and participated in some very important things, and they want me to write those memoirs. And I'm looking forward to doing that. My heart will always be with you. I will continue to participate in your Zoom meetings, and I look forward to seeing you do great things. And I would like very much, Catherine, if it's possible, to take the video of this statement and to post it separately so that I might share it with friends and my children. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so what do we have to, so.
I'm gonna sing that song again, Lewis. And you know I can't sing.
What song is that?
Baby, please don't go down to New Orleans. You know I love you, so baby, please don't go.
Okay, so Bill, walk me through this. It's not like we can't say no. We have to accept his resignation.
There's one other thing. I'm sorry. There's one other thing I wanted to say. There's been some suggestions during the public comment section about not selecting my replacement at this time. I would like to point out that the precedent here, the history is that whenever someone resigns, we immediately select the person to fill the unexpired term. Well, why do we do that? Because we don't just have board meetings. The committees work between board meetings. There's a lot that gets done. And the new people won't take office until several weeks from now. And I think it's important to have someone ready to go, working with committees and continuing the work of this board starting tomorrow morning. So I urge you to select my successor. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so Bill, we accept Lewis's resignation, and now we move to agenda item 36.
Well, we haven't voted to accept, so Lewis, you're
so we could
technically
actually
still
say
on the
no.
board for the moment, so stand by. I do appreciate your comments too. And Lewis came on the board in 2006, and he worked very hard to change the direction of the district, and he was successful. And he's done a lot of great things for the district, too many to name tonight. And his presence will be missed. I hope he enjoys his life over there, and where's Louisiana, somewhere over there.
Yeah.
You know, have a good time with your family and all, but I do appreciate your comments, and I appreciated working with you as well. The process, Catherine, is when we get a letter of resignation under state law, it's effective 8 days from receipt or upon acceptance by the board, whichever comes first. So it was important for us to have it on the agenda tonight and not let a vacancy occur automatically. It's also important not to let a vacancy stand very long, because we have to have a quorum. When you have one vacancy, that means if another director's absent, you're just down to 3. It endangers your quorum. But it's entirely up to the board as to appointing a successor. If you wait 60 days, you get thrown into a process where you could end up at the TCEQ on the appointment, so you never want to wait that long. Most boards try to fill vacancies quickly. It is a board decision. It's not a public election. It does require the potential appointees, we require them to file application. And in this case, 2 applications have been filed, one by Beth Jones and Gerald Burgess. It was a short window to put something on the website, but there has been an announcement of Lewis's resignation and a statement of how persons could apply. I admit it's only been up there a couple of days, but it is on the website. And so after you vote to accept Lewis's resignation, we can move to the next item, and the board can determine if they want to appoint somebody tonight. If they want to delay that, it's up to the board. But Lewis is correct. Typically, the vacancies are filled very quickly for obvious reasons, that you have work to do and you have to maintain a quorum.
Okay.
I want to add something to that, Bill. So when we got the agenda for, and we found out about the resignation, and the agenda was live, I think it was Friday, maybe it was Thursday. I contacted all of the HOAs and they all put the information on their websites and their Facebook pages.
Okay.
So people did know that there was a vacancy. Unlike some people have said it's all of a surprise.
Okay. Okay, so I move with a heavy heart that we accept the resignation of Louis Zervagon.
I'll second.
You're seconding? Okay, Jenna's seconding it. Okay, is there any discussion? Any more discussion? This is just really sad. Okay. I'll go ahead and call the vote. I'm assuming that he doesn't get to vote, right? Bill?
Correct.
Okay.
He's probably making a margarita now and celebrating. I hope he does like a big send off or something, you know?
Yes, me too. Okay, I'm gonna call the vote. Chris?
Yes.
Jana?
Yes.
Art?
Yes.
I'm gonna vote no.
I wanted to
The
vote no
motion
too.
carries. The motion carries.
Well, hold on, Jana, you're not really changing your vote, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No,
Yeah, we need 3 to vote for.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Okay, so Louis, you're officially no longer a board member. Okay, so hold on, let me get my computer back. So the next, there we go. Agenda item 36, appointment of replacement director to fill the unexpired term of Louis Zervagon. Okay, so as Bill noticed, said we've had 2 applications for this vacancy, one by Beth Jones and one by Gerald Burgess.
And they both gave us their resumes.
Right. And so we've all seen and I'm assuming all the directors have seen the resumes, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So I would like to nominate Beth Jones to replace Louis Zervagon.
Catherine, the motion should be that you
Appoint?
move to appoint.
Oh, okay. I appoint Beth Jones to replace Louis Zervagon. I need a second, somebody, so we can discuss it.
Oh, so, okay, so this is a regular, I'll second.
Okay, okay. So, okay, now we're going to, would it be appropriate to unmute Beth at this point?
It's entirely up to the board if you want to talk to her about it.
Okay.
She can unmute herself.
Okay.
If she's
Okay.
on, I'm not sure if she's still on the call.
Yes, she is. She just
I'm
unmuted.
Okay.
I'm here. I didn't want to be on tonight because it makes me sad that Louis is leaving.
I know.
But you guys, thank you very much. And I'm excited to work with all of you. And I'm excited to keep everything going and get what we can get done before Cedar Park takes us over, right? So I'm excited to be here with all of
Okay.
you.
Does anybody have any questions that they want to?
I do.
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to do this, Beth?
We didn't hear you, Chris. Say it again.
I said, is Beth sure she really wants to do this?
Yeah.
Chris, how long have I been hanging out with you guys? I think I can do
I
it.
know, but I mean, you know what you're going to get into.
I think
just
I'm
want to
already
make sure
in it.
you understand. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I must admit, having worked with Beth in the last couple of years in our neighborhood association, when we were doing planning for things in the neighborhood, she's really passionate about serving her community and trying to make this place a better community. So I think she's going to make a really good addition to the board. And I'm going to rely on you, Beth, to be very engaged with me and the rest of the board.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to call the vote. Chris,
Yes.
Jana,
Yes.
Art,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Okay, so agenda item 36, appointment to replace director to fill the unexpired term, to the deed restriction committee. Okay, so I'm going to.
Can I interrupt for one
Sure.
second? Beth, before you can serve officially as director, we have to swear you in and you have to take the oath and a statement. So someone from my office will be contacting you tomorrow to do that remotely. It has to be done over Zoom, so we'll set up a Zoom meeting and get you sworn in. Once you're sworn in, then you are officially a board member. And so we hope to take care of that tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you,
And then
Bill.
she's going to have a whole bunch of online training that she's going to have to do, correct?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. It's fun.
Don't tell her everything at once.
It's fun. It's very informative.
I know. Let me get her sworn in first, okay?
Okay.
And we'll tell her.
And make it official before she changes her mind.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Well, okay. So then how does that work for agenda item 37?
Well, you can go ahead and make the appointments, but she won't be able to act until tomorrow after she's sworn in. I'm assuming you won't be doing anything before then.
Okay, so then I'm just gonna appoint Beth then to replace Lewis on the deed restriction committee.
Okay, and we have a form in the packet. And so the term would start tomorrow and end April 19, 2021.
Okay, so I received a copy of it. So you're telling me I need to print it, sign it, scan it, send it back.
It'll be part of the documents we'll get with you on getting signed.
Okay, got it. Okay, then agenda item 38, committee appointments and assignments. I am going to appoint Beth to all of the committees that Lewis was serving on. And trying to think, I know that infrastructure, so that's going to be infrastructure, customer care,
investment.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna. Oh my gosh, investment officers.
We're gonna have to have an investment officer.
We're gonna need 2 people to immediately become investment officers and become trained, because we're losing both of them at the same time. Oops. Somebody write that down to follow up on.
Well, we're not losing Chris yet. We still have another couple weeks.
Well, it's gonna go really fast. That's what I'm saying.
Gonna go fast.
Yeah. Who's got the committee assignments up? What attachment was that in?
I don't know, but I know Lewis is on information with me.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll find it and we'll communicate that to you, Beth. So for sure, DRC, infrastructure, customer care, audit information. Yeah, you're going to have your hands full very quickly. Very quickly. You got some big shoes to fill. Okay. Agenda item 39, adjournment. I need somebody to adjourn the meeting.
I so move.
Okay, got a second?
I'll second.
Okay, everyone say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Bye.
Bye,
we'll
Lewis.
be in touch.
Bye,
And
Lewis.
we'll see each other one last time for sure next week.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.